Okay, here we are at another RJ's Live. So, welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. We're here. We're here for your viewing pleasure. We're going to talk about knives and all kinds of silly stuff. Good morning to everybody that's in the chat. We have Thrifty Kniffy, Dan in Michigan, Michael Morgan is here, Doom Crew Outdoors, El Phoenix. Everybody, welcome. Welcome to everybody that watches this on the replay. We're glad to have you. We have our esteemed panel. We have Stephen from Patty's Potato Peelers. He's holding down the fort on that end. We got Tom from Knife Delights. We have J.O. John from J.O. Ventures Outdoors. He's here, and CB Tactical is going to be right back. He's joined us again this morning. Hey, Pete, I see you're there. Good morning. So, hey, let's just start off. What do you have? Oh, hey, Kirby Creek, how's that MagnaCut 110 doing for you? I'm sure that knife, I watched your video on that. That was awesome. But what do you guys have going on your channels, and what do you have going on that's new? Anything that you want to talk about? Hey, CB.
What's up? How's everybody doing?
Good morning.
Morning.
Yep, I know he is definitely loving that MagnaCut 110. I was jealous that came out, and I didn't have enough in my wallet to get one.
He was going to town with it, wasn't he?
Oh, he was, and I don't blame him. I would test it for sure. I enjoy watching his videos, doing those different challenges and stuff, the bushcrafting challenges. It's pretty interesting.
Yep.
To tell you the truth.
He can even carve a cow out of a little stick of butter.
I know. I thought that was amazing. Hey, Stephen Wallace. Yeah, that butter cow. I mean, and when you think about it, cows make butter, and then the butter made the cow. Is that how it works?
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a farmer, so I have problems with that kind of stuff. But yeah, what do you guys got going on?
I laughed so hard when you got to that part, I had to stop the video. It was
Stephen,
great.
why don't you lead off with your channel updates and what you got going on?
Sorry, was that me?
Yeah, I said, why don't you go ahead and lead the pack here and tell us what you got going on your channel?
Okay, I've got a few new things this week. I've got a little fixed blade. I've got a new torch that I showed yesterday, which I'm in the middle of reviewing. I got another beautiful GEC this week, which I am just absolutely taken with. And tomorrow night, myself and Justin are starting back into our live podcast. A different format than this. It's just going to be, most of the time it'll be me and Justin and maybe one other guest if we're doing a full show. But it's the sort of podcast where you can just pop in and out for 5 or 10 minutes. If you got a new knife and you want to show it, please come on. You can stay as long as you like, but what I'm saying, you can come in for 10 minutes. If there's somebody else, just let them come in. So it's a different sort of a podcast. There's nothing beats this one. This is my favorite, even out of my own. So this week, that's about it. I don't think I've got anything coming this week. I haven't ordered anything unless I've done a late night one, which I'm apt to do when I'm just about to fall asleep and hit order. But I don't know if anybody else does that. I used to be terrible for taking my phone into bed at night times. I only ever done it when I started knife YouTube. And I used to sit at night and go over and I put them into my box, but all of a sudden one day, nights I'd press the wrong button, order a knife, go to sleep, and forget all about it.
Well, I have a story about that that just happened recently, just this last November. It was my grandson's birthday. And so I bought a knife for him on Amazon. And so I was on my phone and I did the, buy it now with one click button. So I hit that, and so it ordered it, and then I hit the back button on the browser, and then there was a button from Amazon. It said confirm your order, and I was like, I thought I already did it. Okay, so I clicked confirm my order, and then I just got out of that whole thing. Go to sleep, wake up the next morning. My wife says, I was looking at the bank statement. She goes, "There's 2 charges on Amazon for that knife. Did you buy 2 knives?" And I said, I don't think I did. But then I looked at my email, and sure enough, I bought 2 knives. So then I asked her, I said, "So what do you want me to do?" I said, "I can return it easy enough." And she goes, "Just keep it." Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
So that
Nice.
knife I have yet to review, but it's got a funny story with it.
I'll have to try to use that one.
Mhm. It'll work at least one time.
Yeah, once. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
the
pretty
sensible
sharp,
thing to
though.
do is to order 2 different knives.
Yes, that's what you got to do. Then that's a whole different thing. I was falling asleep and my finger slipped.
So, talking about great wives, Case announced its 2023 vault pattern knife this year, and it's going to be the Congress. And they do have one with the fish symbol or the Ichthys. Plus, they have a slimline trapper with the Ichthys. Both of them in purple curly maple. So I look forward to ordering one of each of those. But Mrs. Knife Delights gets an email from Shepherd Hills Cutlery, and they have a series of knives with, what do they call it? Green apple bone, I think, knives.
Yeah.
And she says, "I'm ordering that for you." She loves the green apple bone. So
Oh, nice.
I potentially ended up with 3 new Case knives this year. So
Case does a beautiful green apple bone.
yeah,
Yes.
she loved it. So as far as the channel goes, I've been working on trying to do an overview of my complete buck knife collection. Just kind of going category by category. So I continue to work on that, and I guess that's the big thing right now.
And how about you, CB or John? Do you have anything that's going to go on your channel, or anything you've been thinking about doing, or just keep it on?
Well, I have the monthly knife subscription, monthly knife club subscription. It's fixing to come. I got the Onyx box, and I got the monthly fixed blade box. It ought to be pretty good. I get my first one Monday. It's already shipped. And
Is that
so
Blue Creek?
no, this is a different one. It's called Monthly Knife Club, and he's not really a store. He does strictly like a monthly knife subscription.
Right.
You can go into like the standard knife subscription. It's like $25 a month, something like that. But then you can upgrade it, and you get a lot of EDC stuff, hats, knife oil, flashlights, all that kind of stuff. So it can be like a Going Gear or a Fairland blade, but the base of it is the knife. So you have like a standard, a premium, then you have like their Onyx box, which it's like a premium knife of the month. It's like $120, but you get like a $200 knife every month.
Fantastic.
So you can't go to a store and just buy a knife. You know what I mean? So it's pretty neat. I want to check it out. I've been watching it and stuff for probably a year or so, and he's done pretty good so far. Like I was saying about Brian at Blue Creek Knives the other day, he's got something going on right there too, because if he can just keep up what he started, he's going to have an excellent box.
Yeah, nobody does that over here.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Knife promotion over here is quite difficult because nobody will do the knife promotion for you. It's sort of frowned upon knives. They've just got that typical UK nanny state that everyone looks down on somebody that does knives
I hear
because they
you.
think we're making teenagers do something with knives. Do you know what I mean? Just crazy.
Well, they're probably trying to stop the culture. You know,
Yeah.
Basic human tool.
yeah. That's what they're trying to do over here too. When it comes to knives and guns and all that other stuff, they're trying to silence it, trying to keep it stuffed down so that you don't get the younger generations involved.
But
they're
my,
hoping we all die out.
my take on that is whiskey probably kills more people than knives in the UK, but you'll advertise it all day long because they who make the rules love it.
Exactly.
Cars kill more people than any
Yeah.
kind of weapon
It's
in the
just
United
nonsense.
States, but they're not illegal.
Yeah.
And to have people doing a show and tell of their knives on TV, even ads, to me that's going to lessen it as a bad hobby and bring the good part of it up.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Tom, I got one for you.
What's that? There you go.
Yeah, Buck
Yep.
Bantam.
Well, is
I
that
love the
Big
Bantam
Ten?
series.
Mm.
Yep.
I like his little knife.
Yep. I got several of them. Oh,
When I bought this, I was like, Tom will like me now.
well, I got some.
I
I got
mean-
something for you, CB.
Even
Because-
though I have my Buck 110,
Yeah, yeah. I got something
Oh,
for
you
you.
snibbler.
The last time you were on, I was afraid you were going to ask to see that signal. This is a Leatherman signal, and I won this
Oh,
from
yeah.
CB in his giveaway. I had misplaced this thing. I have been looking all over for this. And so I have been
Okay.
paranoid, thinking, oh gosh, CB's going to want to see it. And I don't know where it is.
That's all right.
But
have
I
you
found
used
it. What's that?
Have you used it?
I have been using it some. Yep. I need to do more this spring with it.
You'll find out. You'll
Yeah.
be like, man, this is the handiest thing ever. I don't know why I never carried it.
The snow's gotten so deep, it's kind of hard to get out where I want to go use it and do some stuff with it. But yeah. But I'm just happy I found it.
Heck yeah, that's cool.
Well, that's a good deal that all you had to do is show some Buck knives. Tom, you did get the check, so you still like me, right?
I got the check and I never did like you, so why should I start now? Check or no check?
Wow. Wow, that hurts. That hurts my heart.
Yeah, make him laugh.
Yeah, I know. If I had feelings, they'd be hurt too.
Hey, Prop Blast. Good to see you. So this week, or this last week, SHOT Show happened in Las Vegas, and they
You
brought
missed
out.
poor John.
Oh, say again?
You missed poor John there. He's all upset looking.
You skipped right over me, RJ.
I
That's
did.
all right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, John.
Yeah, that's all
I'm
right.
sorry. Go
It's
ahead,
easy
John.
to do. I don't know if Tom wants to talk about our project coming up here with the Bowie, the original Bowie. He picked up at an antique store. Is that where you got it?
Yep. Mhm.
Yep. And he is kind enough. He's going to donate that to JO Ventures Outdoors. I kind of look at it as a collaboration, and I'm going to make a sheath for it, and we're going to
Fantastic.
give that away. We're going to give it away on my channel when I hit 400, and I'm at 335. So that's going to happen there, and I'm going to throw in a couple other little things. So some other things in the package. So I'm looking forward to that. And thank you, Tom, for that. And I want to thank RJ for having me on here today as well. And
Yeah, even though I forgot you were there.
well, that's okay. That's easy to do. I've done that before. I forgot I was on here. So anyway, so that's coming up. I'm looking forward to that. Tom, I've been looking at some photos of some different sheath designs. I have some ideas. So we'll have to collaborate on that a little bit. See what you think.
Yeah, I was going to try to look back at some frontiersman type
Yes.
knife sheath, something they would have back in the 1800s to kind of go with
So-
that. I don't know if we can find something like that or not. But
TK says you forget all Johns, RJ.
Yep, and I'm answering him right now.
So yeah, some of those, Tom, actually have fringe on them.
Right.
And so I'm considering attempting to learn how to do fringe.
That would be
on
nice.
the video.
Like Jeremiah Johnson, if you look at the sheath he had, it looked like a skin bag, and it had the fringe on it.
Yeah, and I have some buckskin. I have some deer hides.
I love the Bowie. You
Yeah.
can't get more American than the Bowie knife.
Yeah.
You know,
I
I've
made
never
this-
had a real one up until this Rough Rider, but I mean,
Yeah.
I want a good one.
So this knife roll, this is a knife roll made out of a deer hide.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
A family member
I think-
gave me.
Because that would be
Oh.
more along the lines of what they had access to, deer or
Yeah.
cowhide, but more deer
Yeah.
hide.
Mimo has a question. Did that knife roll have fringe on it, John?
No, it doesn't
Okay.
have fringe on it. No.
He asked what is fringe, and I think it's because
Oh,
fringe. These guys
fringe is a little strings of leather that hang along the edge of the item, and
Go
apparently you
watch
can
any
make your own
80s rock
fringe.
video.
yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
fringe there.
Yeah, and like Daniel Boone's jackets made out of deer
Yep.
hide had fringe along the sleeves. So basically, this just cut pieces of leather and then you glue it in, apparently at the seam. So I think that could be really cool, Tom. But we'll have to look at some design. So that's coming up, and then I've got some. I'd like to do the 3 for Thursday coming up here in another week or so. I've got some 58 millimeter Victorinox I want to do for that one possibly, and some others. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. I'm working on some other leather projects right now for a gentleman, and then I've been inquired about some others, but I don't know if those will happen, but that's what I'm kind of thinking. So some hikes and EDC hike videos, I'd like to get out and do some of that, but sometime here. So those are kind of my thoughts. But the Bowie is the big project for the channel.
Yeah, very good. Okay, I guess now we'll go back to SHOT Show.
We haven't
Sorry.
heard what you've got coming.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should.
Yeah,
I should
you
remember
forgot
what I got
yourself.
going. Yeah, I did. See how I am?
So
Well, that's
excited
because
about SHOT Show.
Exactly. But a company named Kexmo reached out to me, and they sent me this little knife to review, and I've enjoyed this knife. It's D2 with a ebony handle on it. I guess I should bring that up.
Yeah,
little
can you
bit.
bring that up for us?
Yeah, let me work my screen. Let me work this magic, and let's go here.
There we go.
Okay, so what we have here is a D2 blade with ebony covers. So it's really very nice. I know the lighting isn't great in here, but there will be a full review. It's got a coated blade. Really kind of a nice action and a really nice little EDC blade. I thought that was really good. And then I also received actually I have something. If Doom Crew Outdoors is still here, he did a video on his Case Stockman collection, and so he was surprised that I only have one, and so I thought I would show off the one that I have.
That's
So-
a nice one.
This is my collection of Case Stockman right here. This is the shortest video I have.
That's a Knife Delights approved Stockman.
There, and that's all that matters, really. And then the rest of it, I think, I want to pace myself. I have some other stuff here, but I don't want to show it all at once, and then I'll have nothing else to talk about. So But oh yeah, Doom Cruise there. He says yes, everyone needs at least 3. Okay, I'll work on it. I've got to get a couple more. Well, actually, I will. I'll show one more because I think this will also be a Knife Delights approved knife. The wife and I went antiquing yesterday, and I found this, which is
yeah.
the little Buck Cadet, and it needed a new home, and was down there, and so I got this one. It's a nice one. I did check the date stamp. I think this is a 1992, if I remember right, because I looked it up last night. The sheep's foot is missing the very end of the point there, and so that's not too bad. But the little, I don't know, this is more of a pen rather than a spay, and it's got kind of a rough edge on it also. But I think that I'll be able to, you can see right there where the damage is at the very end of the tip. I think that'll just sharpen right out without too much trouble. The missing metal, there's not much I can do with it. I could send it back to Buck and see how much it is for repair on this. But really nice little American-made Stockman, because Tom has given us all buck fever. And, and what can I say?
It's catching. It's catching.
It is. You gotta be careful, because the next thing you know, you start getting a bunch of them.
That's right.
But, yep, just the tip, John. That's for sure. Then I wanted Mimo. He already had put it up, but there's a link in my description box for that Kexmo knife. I have a link that leads to their Amazon store. If you use that link, you'll get 10% off of their knives. So it's something that if you guys are interested in looking at those before the review, this will be kind of like a sneak preview. You can go in there, take a look at that. And yes, John, Alox pox and buck fever, we've got it bad. Okay, so back to SHOT Show for the 3rd time or 4th time, I don't know. But yeah, I agree with you, Bobby. He said he doesn't really collect Stockmans, but he finds that he has a bunch of them. Same thing happened to me with trappers. Yeah. So
It'll grow on you.
It sure will. At SHOT Show, like Tom said, Case had their vault pattern, the Congress, and the is it the mini Congress, Tom? Is the
There's a 2-bladed and a 4-bladed Congress.
Yeah, and those look really interesting to me. Much more interesting to me than the last year's with the swell center jack. I was much more interested in the Congress pattern.
Yeah.
And you probably have some, right, Stephen?
I've got a Rough Rider one, which is absolutely amazing.
Okay, let me bring you up so we can take a look at that for anyone that may not be familiar with the Congress pattern.
This is a little Rough Rider one, and it's got the abalone, but look at that on the back spring.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's beautiful.
It's a beautiful little knife and lovely bits of abalone on it. Just the usual four blades, but it sits really down low. It's a lovely little carry, especially if you're a whittler. This is a perfect knife for a whittler. They're very thin blades. But Rough Rider, about 20, I think this was about 25 quid UK, and I'm sure it's much cheaper over there. But a beautiful, to get that on the back of a 25-pound knife is unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. So that excited me, and I also was liking the Buck Alpha Hunter fixed blades that came out, especially the Scout model, which is the slightly smaller one. I think that would make a great EDC fixed blade.
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely going to give a hard look at that this year when they come out. I'm hoping they're priced well, so I can pick one up. That's for sure. So, how about you guys, Patty? Did you see something that you liked in all the coverage?
Well, this might actually shock you. I liked a Spyderco, and it's a brand new model of Spyderco, because an awful lot of them are just revamps. But the new one, and it's like a Bowie blade. It's about the size of a Para 3, between a Para 3 and a Para 2. And Sal Glesser was showing it. It's going to be later on in the year, I think, before it's released. But it has the most beautiful Bowie clip on it, an unusual Bowie clip, not just a regular shape. And I was absolutely smitten with it. I kept going to the next person who was reviewing Spydercos and just kept looking at it. So I think that's one I'm actually going to buy this year.
Yeah, that's cool. And Tom, you kind of went over your Ichthus purchases. Was there anything else that you saw that you liked?
I saw that fixed blade Alpha Hunter also.
Yeah.
And I like both of them, but I'm like you. I like that smaller Scout model.
Yeah.
But I might have to get both of them just so I can compare, just to see which one I like the best.
I think that sounds like a great choice.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to one or the other, the answer is always yes, please. I'll take both.
That's right. Absolutely. No,
What about you? Go ahead.
I watched some of the coverage, and there looks like there's a lot of fantastic new knives coming out this year. So, of course, the buck ones were the ones that caught my eye. But yeah, I'm sure there's going to be something out there for everyone coming out new this year.
Oh yeah. What about you, John? What did you see that you liked?
Well, not that I'm going to buy it or not, but it's not really where I focus. But I actually thought the new Benchmade Narrows was a very interesting model from Benchmade, and it's kind of like a bit larger bug out, but very narrow in the handle. The blade's a bit bigger. It's probably a little too big for me to carry on an everyday basis, but it looks like a very interesting knife. I'd like to just go at least see it in hand. Sometimes I just go to the knife counters and and just look at the knives so I can handle them and see what they're like. Some of the models that are kind of out of my reach, but I thought that was kind of interesting, and it looked like CRKT and Kershaw also had a couple models that looked very interesting. So CRKT has a crossbar. It's called the Lurch, and it's got a G10 handle. So these are modern knives, but
right.
It seems like the coverage I saw was mostly modern knives and fixed blades. I didn't really see much else, but
didn't CRKT have a nice little fixed blade they came out with too?
Yeah, you're talking about that
possibly
the Nax.
That might be it.
Part knife and part axe. I saw that. I was going to mention
that.
No.
Yeah, on Zach's Zach in the Wild, he had good coverage. There's also a smaller one he showed. I think it was a CRKT along the line of the Squid. I don't know if you're familiar with the Squid.
I am.
Along the
I got
lines
one
of
right
that.
here.
Or the Pilar. Yeah, I have one too.
Yeah, that little one.
I love that knife. That's awesome. So that looks very interesting as well. I'd forgotten about that one until we started talking about it. But So yeah. Oh, that's a nice one, CV. I love that copper handle. That's copper?
Yeah, here, I'll bring that.
It's the Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive.
Oh, cool.
And that's
it's only
Squid,
like
right?
$28 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
I really like this little thing.
Looks like a grenade.
That's what my wife said. That's the first thing she said. She didn't say nothing about how much money I spent. She's just like, "Oh, that's cool. That looks like a grenade."
Yeah, here's mine. Mine's just the Stonewash, the black Stonewash. I don't know.
Yeah, let me.
When you get all of us.
I'm working on it. I was writing a comment, and I will get there. It's tough being the host and the producer at the same time.
You're doing great, RJ. Don't let your guests give you a hard time for forgetting them.
Oh, it's okay. I will. I'll let you guys
So what's
do all
nice
kinds of
about
stuff.
this one is it's like I think it's probably up to $20 now or something like that, but it was right around $17. And
Which one is that?
it's the CRKT squid. It's
Yeah.
just the basic model. And I think they have a larger model now too, don't they, CB?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have other scales for these. And like CB's got the copper scale, so you can get real fancy with them. But I think this is an awesome everyday carry knife. It's small, compact. It was
Yeah.
designed after a compact pistol. Kind of the idea of a compact pistol. It's a Lucas Burnley. So.
Yeah, it's a really good knife. I like them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
At first, I was kind of skeptical about it because of the size and everything.
It's a
But
tank.
after getting this one and holding it, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
It feels like a really good knife.
Yeah, it's a tank. I think it needs a lanyard because of the size. You can
Well-
grab onto it.
Yeah,
But
I guess that's a good thing why I was born with small hands.
God was looking out for you on that one, huh?
Look, I can get all 4 fingers on it.
There you go. Here, we'll bring you up full screen so everybody can see. There you go.
Even
oh yeah. Good.
Good deal.
that's about the only thing that's small. Heck, I can't get rid of none of this other. It's just hanging all over me.
Okay, we don't need to get into TMI there. Okay, CB.
I'm talking about this belly.
Okay. All right. We're good. It's a family show. Oh boy, that's funny.
I did see that match that you were talking about, and I definitely want it.
Yeah, me too. It looks just like a really fun idea, and just it's so unique. It fits into Fun Knife Friday. It fits into Fixed Blade Friday. It's I love stuff like that. That's just a unique thing that makes you smile. Those are definitely a good combination. When you see that in the knife world. So that's
really fantastic for splitting kindling for a fire. I have a wee firebox, and during the summer I would use it at the side of the road to make a cup of tea. And I use an old kitchen machete. That's what I use to break kindling up. But that just looked like the perfect thing to bring out.
Yes, it did. It's more unique than like you said, like a small machete or a fro or something like that. It just it looks like it has stuff that if you needed to notch out a piece of wood or something, you could do that. And if because it's got a long enough handle that, you could choke up on it for fine work. But then if you need to split kindling, like you said, or chop a limb or something like that, you have enough leverage to do that comfortably. Okay.
Christy's got a question about the 117 into full production for 2023. Are you excited? Yes. I do have a 117, but I think it's a great pattern. And it's going to be nice that they're going to be producing it now. So the 117 is a fixed blade, just a little bit smaller, like the little brother of the Buck 119 Special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're bringing that pattern out. So.
Yeah, it looks like it has micarta handles on it. Is that true?
I've just got the basic one with the black phenolic. I don't know if they're going to offer some out from the custom shop or what. I haven't really looked at it yet.
Yeah, I think that was what it is that there will be the standard model with the black phenolic handle, and then it will also be a pro model.
Right.
Yeah. Not a true custom shop model. They may have custom shop offerings, to get different handles and steels, but
the pro models are usually like a micarta handle, and then maybe some upgraded steel to it. So
I think it was S30V, Tom.
Could be. Yep.
Yeah.
Could be.
So talking about SHOT Show having a lot of modern knives, and it does. I watch SHOT Show for a different reason. I watch it because of the firearms aspect, but modern knives, they push the envelope with the steels. You want an extremely expensive knife, it's going to have some exotic steel on it. And talking about traditionals, well, traditionals have been done for 100 years, and there's not really any way to go with traditionals except putting these new steels to it.
Oh
420
my
AC,
goodness.
great steel, but it's been replaced by D2. Everything's got D2 now. That's the standard steel. And so I see traditionals really stepping up their game with the steels, and they'll still look the same, but they're going to be upgraded to stay relevant with all the new modern knives that come out on a daily basis.
Oh, heaven
That's
above,
why,
CB. Have you got any carbolic soap in your house?
Do what?
Have you got any carbolic soap in your house?
No.
Oh, I would wash your mouth out with it if I had. How to break a man's heart? Traditionals are always going to be traditionals.
No, that's what I'm saying. But green jig bone, they have so many models, and they've done it the same for so long. Like, they're gonna have to. The custom shop's gonna become normal, is what I'm trying to say.
It's getting
all
worse,
these
CB.
knives huh?
It's getting worse.
No, it's not. It's getting better.
Just stop now before the tears come.
It's not getting worse. It's getting better.
Oh, I'm one of these traditionals where I still love the 1095, 1085 steels.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I feel like that's the way they're about to go, because Buck has a custom shop.
Yeah.
And custom shop is going to take over, because that's what's going to keep the younger people interested in the traditional knives, is what I'm saying.
There's a huge market now for very modern traditional knives with titanium and the higher blade steels like Jack Wolf, and they're fantastic knives. But I'm hoping that the older makers who still make it the traditional way. I mean, even GEC now are not made the traditional way. They've got new machines now. They've spun excuse me. They're using more traditional machines and less hand finishing, whereas the older makers are still fighting away, like Arthur Wright and Taylor's Eyewitness. They still make them the old way, all by hand and old materials. And I still get heavily excited when I see a new one coming out.
I was this close from ordering the new Buck 110 in MagnaCut, because it's in MagnaCut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it was this close.
I think if they brought a 112 out, I would get the 112 in MagnaCut.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Well, I still, don't get me wrong, Stephen. I like my traditionals. My dad come over this week. I actually took his knife because I wanted to show y'all.
Oh, good. Let me bring it so we can take a look at that. I love knives with a good story.
So Parker and Sons is an old company. They made some really good knives. They had their blades made in Seki, Japan, just like a lot of people did, and they were made in Chattanooga. Well, my dad come over, and I was like, "What's in your pocket this week?" And he's like, "Well, I got this Parker and Son, and it's a razor."
Oh, beautiful.
It wouldn't cut hot butter. I got it sharp now, so I sharpened on it this week while I had it. But these bone handles, I don't know
Look at that.
if y'all can tell, but like, it's dirty. It's been well used, but
it is beautiful.
Like the edges, that's just gorgeous to me. And this is the Texas sequentennial knife, 1836 to 1986. It's a 150-year knife
Wow.
for Texas. But I really like this. I mean, in 1986, that was a hot knife.
Very much so.
He pulled that out, and I was like, "Well, you're leaving that here." He was like, "What am I supposed to do?" So I handed him a case I had. I was like, "Here, just stick this in your pocket." And my wife is fixing to leave here in just a few minutes and take it back to him. But I wanted to show y'all that. These go for about $85, $85 to $100 online. In great condition. Of course, this one's been used. It's got scratches down the blade and everything. That can be polished out.
That's very cool, CB.
Yep, beautiful knife.
Yeah.
But the you know, a lot of these old traditional knives, a lot of their blades were made in Seki, Japan, which is like one of the best blades you get for back then. I think the whole town is a steel mill.
Yeah. I have a Parker too. It's kind of unique, a little bit different.
Okay.
It is a 1982 World's Fair commemorative knife. As you can see, it's got the scenes of the fair on there, the history of the mountaineers and that sort of thing. On the back, it has the space shuttle, and this is from the 1982 World's Fair knife. You can find these. I've seen them in the antique stores and places like that, but it's a Parker, surgical steel, Japan, and you can see Parker coloring, I think, on there.
Nice.
Yeah, see that.
So it's very cool. Yeah, it's very cool company. And
I used to have a Kentucky Derby knife. I don't know what happened to it. It looked kind of like that. That was a Parker. I guess over the years I lost it. That's a smaller version.
That's the case version of that knife that you showed. And again, beautiful bone on this one as well.
Yes, it is.
But it's exactly the same. It's a gorgeous little fifth pocket knife. This is just a bit bigger than a peanut size.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of great comments in the comments here. I've been trying to look at them. So
yeah. JW's giving us
for
some
those comments.
History about the Parker knives in Seki City. Talking about a father and son. I'll probably butcher their names, so pardon me, but Yasuo and Shizo Imai. And if you can find any info on them, are a fascinating father-son knife-making duo in Seki City.
Oh,
and I guess Shizo Imal or Imai made those. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. So lots of love for those knives that were there. Hey, KC, he's checking in while he's driving around listening. And that's what Steven suggested. If you guys are out and about, just turn this on, and while you're driving, it's kind of like a podcast, and you can watch the replay later if you want to see some of the interesting knives that we hold up. In fact, I have one. I'm gonna, speaking of older knives, like I said, I went antiquing yesterday, and since Dan in Michigan is here, Dan, you might know about maybe what time frame this knife came out, but I found this little electrician's knife, and it's got the Michigan Farm Bureau. So it's a little advertising knife. This was made by Colonial, and so right next to farm, it may not show up on here, is a little map. It's the outline of the state of Michigan. But this is a newer model, I guess, Colonial, because the tang stamp, it's instead of the half circle, it's just the straight line. But I was researching some stuff about this, and the Farm Bureau, I guess, is a insurance company, and so this was probably a one of those things that you sign up and you get a knife for getting an insurance policy or something like that. But kind of cool, little Colonial electrician's knife, and kind of goes in with the TL29 / electrician knife sub collection that I have going. So I thought that was kind of cool. But when I was trying to look up the Farm Bureau of when they used that logo, I didn't really find anything at all. So I was trying to kind of figure out what time frame this came out. So probably 70s, 80s.
Yeah, RJ, there's also Farm Bureau Incorporated too, and it's a farmer kind of advocacy corporation and organization. So we used to work with them quite a bit in my former job and position. But yeah, that's cool. That's a really cool piece.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting, for the history, and because it's an advertising knife and it's in really good shape, and it's a USA made Colonial. So yeah, that's okay. JW says that's from the 2000s. Yeah, so awesome, because that's something that, like I said, I tried to look up by what the logo looked like and looking at images on Google trying to find something, but I didn't find much. Anyways, what shall we go to next? Oh, Steven's got something.
This is just it's the only Parker Frost I've got. But this is a beautiful, what do you call these ones?
Is that a muskrat?
Muskrat, yeah. Again, it's the only muskrat I've got, but it's Parker Frost. I want to get my hand behind it. But it actually says USA behind it. Oh, where am I? Yeah. It actually has Parker Frost USA.
Nice.
No, not getting it. Were these blades made in Japan and then Parker Frost put them on in the US?
It's possible.
Yeah, they were. Parker was built in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
That's where their plant was. So
78,
they had their
77
blade
on there.
made. What's that?
It's got the date 1978 or 7, which I thought's unusual. It's actually got 1978/7, unless it was the 7 was the pattern number. But it's got made in the USA.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something that we'd have to definitely research, but I don't know it off the top of my head. Dan in Michigan says it looks a lot like the Schrade 77 OT, which that's their version of the muskrat. So
yeah, it's actually very similar to the buck.
Okay, let me bring you back up.
What's this? This is the buck 30 or 3OD. This is a buck Stockman, and then this is the Parker Frost Stockman, or Muskrat. They're about the same size, and that's the large buck one. But yeah, again, I love this aspect of it, where you have to go and do a bit of hunting about to find out where the knife's from and how it was made, where it was made.
That's one of the fun things about collecting older knives. Going to the antique store, you find these little things, and then the fun is kind of going on a little detective hunt through the internet, trying to find with the tang stamps and stuff when it was made, all this other stuff. Here's the other find that I had. Like I said, I'll do full videos on these, but I found this little Imperial jackknife that I have no idea when it was made. According to the tank stamp, it was made anywhere from 1956 until 1988. Yeah. But it's got the little clamshell, covers on it. But it's got just a nice little clip. You can see I still got to clean it up. Yeah. But it's just, who knows when it was made. I don't know if the blades are carbon or stainless. Here is the pen. but it's functional. It's just a little dirty, needs a little love. But I love the covers on it and the Federal Shield, and they let this go for $5. So
Wow.
anytime you can find a nice little, and this is just a nice little pocket dropper, fifth pocket for whatever, and it's got interesting covers, interesting history, nice little two-bladed jackknife, and I don't know really anything much about it except it's another USA made Imperial, and I like stuff like that. When you can find it and you can find it cheap. That's why I love channels like Knife Detector and stuff, because it's so much fun to find the old knives and this somebody had this and they bought it and they had it and it ended up in that store but now I'm the next caretaker of it, and we'll give it some more life. That's the fun thing with these knives. You spend $5 on it, clean it up, use it, and you think it makes the knife happy anyways, because it's not just shut in a drawer.
And does it not make you think? You hear all these channels talking about the very expensive knives that I have as well, but you hear them saying, they're made so well. There's a knife that was probably made for less than $5, and it's still, it's 50-year-old, say, and it's still going, it's still getting passed on. And it makes you wonder, why do we really need the big, steel? Although I do love them myself, don't get me wrong, but there's no reason.
No, but there's so many aspects of this hobby.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is that whether you're high end or low end or somewhere in the middle like we are, you can find all these things in there, and it just makes the hobby that much more enjoyable, because you can go find some history and check these things out. You can, Tom's done a whole series of restoral videos and stuff, so you can take these ones that, maybe somebody would look at it and say, well, this is trash. I don't want to, mess with it or whatever, but you can take these old knives and you can, give them new life, another lease on life. You got John, making leather slips and leather sheaths for things. And, that's another whole aspect of the hobby, to have something to carry it in. And here, you got one there to show, John.
I don't want to take all the time of somebody else, but this is that 12OT Pocket Pal. It's a USA and a Schrade old timer 12OT Pocket Pal, and I found this on the eBay for like $4. And
those are beautiful.
The tip was broken, and I reprofiled the tip and I cleaned it up. I did a couple videos on this, but it turned out really great. There were several really great comments on the videos of suggestions of things to try, and it turned out great. And then I had this flip that I made to carry it in. So just kind of a really cool thing to do, and made some nice content, for the channel. And it's a nice knife. It's carbon steel, I'm sure, and it's a really great, fifth pocket.
Absolutely, I love the 12OT. I love the Uncle Henry Rhodey, which is the Uncle Henry equivalent of it. Which I really love the Rhodey because it has the clevis, which I think just gives it that bit of class. But just they're always fantastic knives that are out there. And like I said, from the cheap ones to the expensive ones, we love them all. Folders, fixed blades, whatever you got. If it's got an edge, we want to look at it and take a look at it anyways. If nothing else.
Even butter knives have that.
Yeah, butter.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, when you think about it, I don't think. Well, actually, I use mostly table knives, Tom. I don't use butter knives, but I probably use a table knife at least. More than I use any other knife that I have. On a daily
Don't let your wife know that you took the butter knife to do a video and then sharpened it. Practice sharpening on her butter knife.
She was wondering where it went.
Do you know the question I always have in my head is, I wonder if the modern day Civivis and them that sort of price range of knives. Will people in 50 years' time be doing them up and talking about the past? I wonder if that's going to be the equivalent of just an everyday pocket knife.
Yeah.
I've often, yes, TK, Rhodey is the best name for a knife ever. I totally agree with that. But yeah, I wonder the same thing, Stephen. I think that's the problem with us, that we ponder things that are really weird like that.
Thank you.
Sometimes I think, if here we go, like, sometimes I even thought, in 2,000 years, are people going to look back at us like we look at the Roman and Greek civilizations, back then, the same thing? They're going to be like, what savages they were. Look at how they did stuff. They're nuts. How could they not know this? Whatever we come up with, way in the future. But I guess I'm an optimist because I think humanity will still go on for a couple thousand years. But
was there any big new knives, the tactical knives for you, CB? Was there any ones that stood out?
I'm sorry?
At the SHOT Show, was there any tactical knives that stood out for you that are new to the scene or improved?
Not really. I mean, Spyderco has a couple of good knives coming out, I think. Kershaw, ZT. Of course, that's the same company.
I seen the ZT fixed blade. Isn't that right? It was the only one they had, I think.
Yeah, that's
it was the fixed blade. It looked nice.
But to your query about in 50 years, are these modern knives going to be worth anything? What's going to stand the test of the time is the name. Like Benchmade, yeah, they're going to be worth something.
Yeah.
I don't know about Civivi because they're kind of like Honda, they just kind of pump them out. So the more you have out there, the less valuable it's going to be. Hinder, they don't make many Hinders, they just do them on limited runs, and then there you go. That's what you got. So in 50 years, I say there's going to be a lot that's worth something, but there's going to be a lot that's going to be like, the DVD player was. They were real expensive when they come out, but when Blu-ray come out, that you could buy one at the dollar store for $13.
Yeah, I think we paid $250 for our first one, and you can't give those things away now.
Right.
They're like a boat anchor,
But
not a very good one either.
Case, they're all stuff like that. It's always going to stand the test of time. I mean, they really are.
I think Case have already stood the test of time. No matter what, you got the naysayers.
But my experience with these knives, where I grew up on a farm, and we worked.
Did you have one to show, CB? I brought you up on full screen. Was that case you were showing?
But this was my grandfather's case, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but the blades are really like. They've been worked to death.
Yeah.
But this thing, that's the thing about growing up on the farm. This was just another tool, like a screwdriver or a wrench or anything. We wore these things out. So we didn't look at them as like, to collect this, So when I started getting older and I started doing martial arts and I got in the military, that's why the modern knife kind of took over with me, because this was, something that I could go into war with.
Yeah.
I could one-hand it, it's about just flipping it out there, getting it out there one-handed. If I got shot in one arm, I still had one arm I could manipulate it with. with traditionals, this is a two-handed operation. I
Yeah.
don't care how you try to do it.
No,
Yeah, I
no.
mean, I guess you could use your teeth, but that would suck. But
Well, go ahead
My
and pull,
old teeth, you wouldn't.
pull that knife back up
Right.
there, CB. Let's take a look at that again. Yeah, no, you didn't have to use your teeth on it.
but no, so I think that's why it really took over more with me than these. Now I love
Yeah.
these. I still do. My thing where y'all go out and y'all try to find them to where you can restore them or whatever. With me, I look at the patina as part of its life.
Yeah.
I find the patina more interesting than the shiny knife itself. You know what I mean? And that's why every single one of mine, I mean, they're rougher than corn cobs. Like this one, tip's been broke off of it. The blades are semi rusty. Y'all probably hate this. Y'all
No, I
probably,
love that.
I'm
We
a
don't
knife
hate it.
user or something, but I
Not at all.
honestly keep them in a case, airtight case and everything, so the rust don't get too bad. And I'll oil them every now and then, try to keep it at bay. But this is my interesting history to me.
Yeah.
How did this knife get this way? How'd that tip get broken?
Yeah.
Right.
What were they doing? So I mean, I love these for that type of thing. And I can't really bring myself to try to restore them like a gun
No.
or something. I find it fascinating.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you because, like, with patina and stuff, I like patina. I would never like get all the patina off of a blade, but like on some of these antique ones, I can feel grit down in the pivot and stuff like that. So I'll clean it up so the action is good and that it's and I'll put an edge on the blades, but I'm not really worried about taking every little mark off it and trying to make it look pristine. It's more, at least for me, I just want to get the dirt off it and just kind of fix it up a little bit, but not destroy all the history that blade has had. That's
Sure,
for sure.
sure.
yeah, I got a
I'm
couple
kind
of
of
my
the other way.
grandpa's knives here too. Sorry, Tom.
No,
Okay.
that's fine.
And I keep the patina on it, and this one right here that's from where he cut his tobacco, and I remember him cutting his tobacco with his pocket knife, and then I
So
ended
he
up
used
with
a
his
knife.
knives. Yeah,
He-
Priceless.
he used it. Yeah, it's priceless. You can't replace that. These are the most, probably, precious parts of my collection are these two, and so this is a K-bar. This is a case. This is the K-bar model, but yeah, they're just. I agree with you. That's that patina and that use is really the best part of it.
Yeah.
Now if I buy a new knife like these Rough Riders I just got, if I buy something like that, then the Tough Stag, I'm buying it because it's pretty, it's clean, it's something that I can use or can put up or whatever. But like these older ones, I just can't do it.
Right.
I'm just the opposite. I got to make it shiny.
Did you
Well,
have
see,
something you
all
wanted
these
to do?
were family
Yeah.
stuff. though.
No, yeah, on
And
family stuff.
it's
but-
how I got it.
Yeah.
So that's just sentimental to
Mhm.
me.
Well, go ahead, Tom. What were your thoughts on old knives and fixing them up?
I just love finding them. I've got some, I don't know where it's at, but I've got a little, I think it was a little peanut. And when I got home with it, I realized it was missing one of the blades. It only had one blade. And I thought, what a shame, because the one blade in there, that knife has one of the finest actions to it. And it's an old knife. And I was like, oh man, I bought this and it's missing the other blade, but I kept it anyway because just that one blade, the action on it is just so superb, you know. But I like looking for all the different tang stamps, all the different companies. And then, like you said, RJ, you get it home and then you get on the internet and let's find out the history behind this company and the makers of these knives. And for me, of course, I'm a history buff anyway, and it's just fascinating to me.
Yeah. I agree.
There was just so many knife makers there used to be, you know.
There's what I love to find. And this is an old, it's a little pen knife, but it was used for quills, for shortening your quill. Can you see how small that blade is? And that was its true size. But the bone is up, it's a stag, I should say, but it has been rubbed so much, it is smooth. And this is from the 1800s. I'm not sure the exact dates, but this is what I love finding. And I don't do anything to this. Now, thankfully, it wasn't too bad. But the bone, it's the bone that got me, the stag, I should say. It's just worn down. Somebody had used it that much to sharpen their little feather at the start of the day to write a letter. I just think it's gorgeous. Listen to the action on this from the 1800s. Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got something similar here, and I've shown this before, but you know, this knife is well, it was made anywhere from 1905 to like 1927 or something like that. So, you know, it's about 100 years or more old. W.H. Morley and Sons, and they were tied in with Imperial also, I believe, but it's a sleeve board pattern Whittler, and it's just got these beautiful scales on it, so iridescent.
Yeah.
You know, and it's 100, like I said, 100-year-old knife or so. Beautiful. But it's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
And if I remember right, you cleaned that one up, right? Because
I did.
Was pretty dirty, and then after you got there and cleaned it all up, then it looks like it does now, which it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So, the swedge on that Master Spear is just beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love that, Tom. That's great. And Stephen, yours was cool.
Yeah.
What kind was that? What kind was that, Tom? Was that an Imperial?
W.H. Morley and Sons.
Oh, Morley. Okay.
And it's got New York on the one side of the blade for tang stamp, and on the back it's got a clover leaf. And the clover leaf was supposed to be a sign of higher quality. I can't remember the whole story behind the clover leaf, but one of the guys involved in Imperial was also involved in this, so it was an imported knife, I guess. But yeah, I mean, and RJ, this was like $6 or $7.
Yeah. I mean, those little treasures are out there that, you know, I mean, people are probably looking for. Well, I know I'm looking for them too. You know, I'm still on the hunt for, you know, because Knife Detector found a case knife at a pawn shop for $8. So I'm still on the hunt for something like that, but I haven't found it yet.
I found a case pen knife for $6, and it's, you know, almost mint, I think.
Yeah,
I'll look for it here for a minute. Go ahead, but
yeah, that's the thing is people are looking for those name brand or the ones that they you know more. And a lot of times when you find these older knives and it's an Imperial or Schrade or something that people are not really as familiar with, you're going to find those bargains, you know, like that, you know, Morley and Son, or even a Parker Frost. Yeah. People are not going to be as familiar with that. And so they're going to pass that up more than they would, you know, one of the other ones.
I showed this on TK's Slice of Life, but I was digging around the $5 to $10 bin at the pawn shop and found a Hofritz pocket dial. So this is like one of my best finds ever. And I think I paid $5 for this.
Yeah, let me
5 or
read
They're
6,
fine.
something like that. And and look at that. I saw that on there. I said, I think I'll take this.
Yeah.
Because these are rare, and so it's got those brass pins and brass liners. I mean, this is a pretty old and I think fairly rare pocket pal.
Yeah, that's a beautiful knife, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I cleaned it up. I did do some cleaning and polishing on the blades and
Right.
on the scales with some sandpaper treatment and some polishing. But I didn't do a whole lot to it. But of course, I've got a slip for it. Good gosh, I got so many slips. But anyway, yeah. So yeah,
probably
it's
have
fun
one.
to find those. Look in the $5 bins, look in the
Yeah.
garage sales. You'll find them. And they're just
They're
a lot
out
of
there.
fun.
So there's a case pen knife, pattern 42, made anywhere between 1920 and 1940. And there's some blemishes and stuff on the blades, but the blades are in excellent shape. So that's a case knife for $6. Even has a little nail relief there.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, $6.
Right. Good stuff. That is for sure.
Yeah, maybe you boys could help me with this. Yours are more into it. This is a Cutlery Co. knife.
Oh, Cutco.
Yeah, that I managed to pick up. Oh, and it's got beautiful stag bone on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's just bone that's made to look like stag, but the jigging is beautiful on it. And I love the master spear on that.
Oh, that's
But apparently,
nice.
this has the bail on it too. Apparently, these were made for the military during World War II. Would I be right?
It's possible.
It was made in Chattaraugus. Oh, sorry, no, that's a Camillus. Camillus, New York. Yep, sorry, I'm completely wrong. No, that's a Camillus. I have another one, but I don't know where it is now. That was Chattaraugus or something it was called.
Cattaraugus.
Cattaraugus.
Yeah.
It's a knife maker that's really hard to pronounce.
They were out of Little Valley, New York.
Well, apparently the original owner of that was him and Case started off together, and then they split ways in the late 1800s or 1890 or something. They split ways, and Case took off on his own. Where is
I
that?
want to say it was Cattaraugus County, New York, where back in the late 1700s, early 1800s, somewhere in there, that's where they started. All the knife makers from like Sheffield, they started gathering in that area.
Yeah.
In like 100-mile radius of there, and that's where all the early American knife makers started out. So there's a lot of history there at Cattaraugus County, New York.
Yeah, Dan in Michigan says he just calls them cats because it's easier to pronounce.
I'm going to use that from now on.
And JW has it phonetically out. It's Cattaraugus per a local. Okay.
So if you can't find your Cattaraugus, does that mean you're trying to herd cats?
Probably. Yeah, cattywampus. That's correct, Casey. That's for sure. Well, I do have, seeing as Jeroen is here, I was just waiting for him to show up because I have something to show him. In fact, Tom, you were. Do you want to ask the question, Tom?
RJ, why is it that you don't have a buck 55?
You mean like this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I do have one. What do you know about that? I finally got one, and the reason that I have this one is because of my good friend Tom, right here on the panel. He sent this to me from his collection
lovely.
to mine so that he would have it. And so we are, I guess, sharing this knife because I'm not going to say it's 100% mine. If Tom, if you ever want it back, just let me know. But it's a beautiful, beautiful knife.
I have visitations every other Thanksgiving and every other Christmas we spot.
Right. Yeah, a couple weeks during the summer.
But not in the same year, right?
Right.
Right. Yep.
I'll have my lawyer contact your lawyer and we'll figure it out.
So yeah, in the buck 55, I found my buck 55 used, at a shop, and I didn't pay much money at all for it. You can find just about anything. That's a wonderful model.
It is. It really is. One of the things I found that's wonderful about it, although it's really designed to be a pocket knife, I have a small old timer, the Mountain Beaver Junior, which is a small lockback, and it's also right about the same size as that, and it comes with a belt sheath. So if I carry this, it'll be in a belt sheath. I don't really want it, banging around with my keys and everything else in my pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and give it its own little protective leather covering, as it were, which is something John can totally get down with, because I know you.
Oh yeah,
that's approved carry method for John.
Yeah, absolutely, love it.
Hey, G-Ball. Yeah, so yes, Jerome, a buck 55 for everyone.
It gives me an excuse to buy another one.
That's right.
Are you buying 4 more, Tom?
I think he will. If you send him the money, he'll buy one for everyone.
That's right. Send me the money. No, all joking aside, RJ does so much for this community. I mean, look at us here. He's so generous, sharing the live here with everybody, and I wanted him to have that.
Thank you,
he
Tom.
deserves that. He really does.
I appreciate that.
Hey, I think I'll make you a slip for your sunfish as a thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate that, John.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Yeah, I know. I have one of those.
Is TK still in there?
Yeah, TK was doing that. That was completely independent of Tom's deal, and so that is. Jeroen says the upside is, Tom, you don't have to sharpen that one anymore. You just buy a new one.
That's right. Same with my philosophy. Hey, by the way, let me just say this. Jersey Knife Guy, Pete, did a very nice video here about a week and a half ago about sharpening, and he kind of geared that video towards me and given me encouragement and this and that. I planned on doing a video on sharpening, just so everyone knows I got 3 broken ribs and I just can't be sharpening right now. I'm kind of on the disabled list right now, but I just wanted to publicly thank Pete for taking the time and making that video, and I hope it helps others too. So that was very nice of you, Pete, if you're still out there. He was in the chat, wasn't he, earlier?
Yes.
Yeah, he still is.
Okay. So thank you, Pete.
And I want to say that video.
When I get healed up here a little bit, and Patty, I know you wanted me to do a video too, and I still plan on doing that. So
no rush.
I like that video Pete did on the custom Victorinox he had done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see that?
That was a really nice knife. That is for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that custom Victorinox was fantastic.
I love the hammered look.
Yes, that was beautiful. Here, let me pull you up there, Stephen. I think you got
that's a Lego version.
Yeah, I just got that this week. This is a Victorinox with the scales changed to the Lego, and it's just so cute looking.
Yeah, that is so
my.
Which model is that? Which model is that, Stephen?
This is the Tinker.
Oh, okay.
The Tinker, and the Tinker with the screwdriver on the side.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like a Tinker.
It's a beautiful, but I just think it looks so cute.
Yes, that is
Yeah, that's
so
pretty
so
cool.
I
awesome.
bet as meticulous as they are, I bet you can actually stack Legos on that.
Do you know, I'll try that this week. I'm going to do the video of it probably this week. So I'll get one of my grandkids to bring me a bit of Lego down. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be.
I didn't know, is that, how widely available are those? Or was that a somebody's special, like an exclusive at some place, or?
No, it's a boy called Blade Bridge Limited in the UK. Now he posts to America all the time, but it's very reasonably priced. He obviously puts them on a whatever one you want, whichever 91 millimeter, whichever 91 millimeter you want. He'll put it on it and then post it to you. But he doesn't overcharge. He just charges, a real basic rate.
Oh, my grandson just loves Legos. That would be pretty cool.
Oh, good gosh, Tom. I'd love to send you a knife over. I'll send the Lego scales. They just pop off. I only got it for fun, Tom. I'll do the video and it'll go with your knife.
Okay, well, thank you. That'd be great.
I only bought it to make a video on it, to be honest with you. So I'll, with pleasure, it'll come with your knife.
Okay.
That is so cool. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Legos is stepping on them in the dark.
In the morning, yeah.
That pretty much is the worst experience you can have.
Yes, I was a Lego child. I loved Lego.
Oh yeah. That
was before they went motorized.
Yeah. now the sets that they sell now is amazing.
The price of them is amazing too.
Yeah, like the Millennium Falcon was like $300. It was no, it was like 800. That's what it was. It's stupid high.
Yeah,
$700 or $800, I think, is what it was.
Yeah, I can remember going with my dad on a Saturday round the second-hand shops and getting a big plastic bag full of Lego for a couple of, it was only a couple of pounds, but you got a big bag of it, just all mixed now. And that was my pleasure of the week, getting something like that.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, so it's a lot of good memories with that. Did you have something? We had a thing over here when I was a kid called Lincoln Logs that were like a log cabin set that you could build out like forts. I didn't know if they had anything like that in Ireland.
No, I can't say no.
Okay, yeah, those
doesn't ring a bell.
Kind of cool too. Yeah, we had that, and just all kinds of fun things back when you had to use your imagination a lot.
Yeah,
That thing was Hot Wheels tracks. How many Hot Wheels tracks could I put together?
Yep, Hot Wheel tracks and Hot Wheel cars and Matchbox cars and all that stuff. That was all growing up, for sure.
Yeah, some of the Hot Wheels I had when I was a kid are expensive now.
Yeah, I noticed that too, that they really are very expensive. And the ones that you see on eBay are in pretty rough shape and they want top dollar for them.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy.
Go ahead, Steve. I was just going to say my county judge executive, he collects them, and he was telling me about he bought a car with chip paint on it that was like $600.
Wow.
I was like, holy crap, man. But apparently, like, they're really rare. And so.
Mine was the old trains that used to have the little not petrol, but paraffin, and used to heat up the steam train.
Oh, yeah.
It used to go along with a wee sort of candle in it. Oh, I would love to have the one I had when I was younger because it would be worth a fortune now.
Oh yeah, and then the electric race car sets that you had the little controller. And me and my brother would hold those things down till they started smoking in your hand, out the vent.
Try to talk all the kids in the neighborhood that had them to come over and build a
Oh.
bigger track and
Absolutely. Yeah. You
Oh,
build
yeah.
a bigger track and,
slot
there's-
cars.
Yeah. Slot cars. Yeah, for sure. That was just fun times. All right. Well, we've kind of touched on all kinds of other stuff. One of the things I thought might be interesting would be to see if you guys have some Safe Queen knives, and I thought we could take a look at that. And who wants to start that off? Do you want me to start? I can do that. We'll go around the horn from there. But one of the knives that I have, and what I mean by Safe Queen is knives that you want to keep nice, that you're not going to put in your pocket, that you're not going to really use for any kind of hard work. It'll just be kind of sitting around and something you'll pass down to somebody. And not that it's a super expensive knife or anything like that, but I think one that qualifies for me definitely is this Case Canoe with the amber peach seed jig on it. I really think it's just a wonderful, beautiful knife, but I have always wanted one that had the etch with the Indian in the canoe. I always thought that was a fantastic thing. I've always had it in my mind. Of course, I live in the desert Southwest, and I'd see pictures in those like Field and Stream and stuff. Hunting in a canoe and paddling through the lakes in the big North Woods and stuff. I always thought, man, that'd be awesome if I could do something like that. But never have, probably won't. But but it's nice to think about from time to time. But yeah, this is one that is a Safe Queen for me, and probably will just stay nice in the collection, and I'll pass it down to my grandkids someday. But that would qualify as my Safe Queen.
Good choice.
All right, who is next?
I can go. I'm ready.
Okay. I'm shocked. A buck knife?
Yeah,
No.
I have one or two. Yeah. So this is a Model 500 Duke, and it's got stag. I believe it to be sandbar stag, and I've shown this before. It's a limited edition. There was 250 of them made, and this was the Grizzly.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
That's really
So-
cool, Tom.
Yeah, this is
Very cool.
number 115. So, yeah, it's just a
Beautiful.
gorgeous knife.
I
Oh,
really
it's-
like that Duke pattern.
Yeah, and this one has the finger grooves in it too. So,
That is beautiful.
yeah. And then it came with this really nice teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I love sheaths like that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. Oh, so they were asking about fringe earlier. That's kind of a fringe.
There you go.
So, as you can see, it came out of the custom shop. So, yeah,
Almost
I guess
looks
this
like
is
a pistol holster.
just for collector's knives, this is probably my best buck knife. Now, I've got other ones that are near and dear to me because they were gifts or things like that. But as far as just, buying something for collectability, this is probably it here. So,
Yeah,
Very
that
cool.
is wonderful. El Phoenix has a question. He said he has some rubber grips that have become sticky. Do we know how to bring them back to normal? I was thinking just maybe wash it with some dishwashing soap, but do you guys have any
Somebody
other
just did a
ideas?
video. Somebody just did a video where they revived rubber grips. Was it Knife Detector? I can't
don't-
remember what he put on there.
Yeah, I don't remember. But I would think you could try that, or
mineral oil.
Yeah.
maybe even like
Yeah.
some simple green in cut it down with some water. that might do it too.
Yeah, I would think the fairy liquid or whatever washing powder, give it a quick scrub down and then set it in mineral oil for a day. Just let it lie there and then lift it out.
There you go.
Now, if it's degraded, you might want to try sanding the little top layer off. If it's because it's degraded, you know what I'm saying, like melted and degraded a little bit.
Yeah.
You might want to touch it up.
Get the oil separating out of it.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. You can try some of that stuff out and let us know next week if any of that helped you or not.
I guess I'm up.
Yeah, you're up.
Has that got a clock in it?
Yeah, it has a digital clock, and it. Let me get over to the right. And it has a stopwatch. It has an alarm and a stopwatch.
Nice.
And this is the Voyager, the Victorinox Voyager. It is very similar to a climber, except it actually has the clock, the digital clock. So it has, the main blade, the opening layer, of course, here. These are made from 2001 to 2008, and then they were discontinued in 2008. According to SackWiki, it has the scissors like the climber. It has the blade there. It has the plus scales. So it has the eyeglass screwdriver and the pin. You can see the pin in there.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is it has, if you're familiar with the plus scales, it has all the implements on one scale because it has a clock over here. And so it has the tweezer, the ink pen right there. And, well, no, it was a toothpick, wasn't it? Here's the tweezers. And they're smaller than normal and go in at an angle. And then for the clock, you change the battery right there. There's a little door that opens and you just use the eyeglass screwdriver to open it. So this is one that I had been eyeing for quite a while and at a local shop. And I did a trade of several knives I wasn't using and he came down on the price on this and I got this. And so, it also has the nail file on the parcel hook along with the awl. So the only other model that I know of that has a nail file on the parcel hook is the compact.
Right.
And so I looked on eBay and decided I wasn't going to use this very much because there was only about 3 of them on there. And they were asking a lot of, quite a bit of money, over $100 or something. But I don't know if that's a fair price or not. But this is
probably near $200 you'd get for it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's but just for collectability, I probably won't use it. I don't think. I'll try to keep it pristine. I didn't get a box with it or anything, but so that's one that I kind of keep back. I have others, of course, but
very cool.
Yeah.
That's a really nice one, John.
Yeah, thanks. It's a fun one.
Victorinox, the original multi-tool.
Oh yeah.
There you go. All right, who wants to go next? Steven or CB?
Well, for me, it's going to be a modern knife. I'm sorry.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But the problem is I can't really call it a safe clean because I was just sitting here cutting on my fingernail with it.
Well, then would you consider that heavy duty or light duty then?
Well, after you see this one, you'd say heavy duty, but so it's actually the Spyderco Yohimbo. It was a base model knife, but what I like about this one so much is, I customized it. I got titanium screws and scales and a milled titanium clip.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's nice.
That is beautiful.
And yes, it's just a Yohimbo 2, and it's a regular S30V blade, but it's nothing special for Spyderco. But yeah, I mean, these anodized titanium scales, gold and the blue, and it's hard to
Yeah.
see on this camera, but it's like bolts of electricity running through it, real faint.
Yeah.
But I guess I would have to say this is my safe queen, and then it would have to be a close second with my Hinder. This is so hard. These are so hard to get a hold of that I just couldn't destroy it.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. And I think, part of what made that Yojimbo a safe queen for you is that you took the time to customize it and fix it like you wanted, and got it to where it's set up. So I mean that makes it special to you, and that's cool, because whatever your knife you're choosing to be a safe queen, there was no rules as far as if it had to be a slip joint or a traditional or whatever.
Sure.
It's whatever you value and the ones that you want to keep safe. So that makes it very cool that anytime you can really customize something to make it the way you want to, I think that definitely qualifies, and that you want to keep it nice, because you spent the time and the money, you don't want to get it all messed up, that's for sure. So
yeah,
very, very good.
it's a unique one. There's probably not another one like it. Even
Yeah.
though the man that made the scales may have made multiples of these, but I guarantee you the pattern's like a fingerprint.
Yeah,
Every one of them was different, I'm sure. So,
exactly. Yeah, so that makes it very nice. Really cool.
Good choice.
Yep.
But I still pack them though. I don't let, even though I keep them in the safe, I still pack them.
Okay. Well, it's your knife. You can do what you want.
Oh, yeah.
So here you go, Stephen. It's all you.
This is a Northwoods. You can see by the butt plug.
Yeah.
But the difference between this one and most of the Northwoods you've seen is these are not seen very often. I've not seen them very often, but this is a Northwood that was pre-GEC and pre-Derek Bone. And the original owner of Northwoods was, oh God, I've got to forgotten his name again. Dave Shirley. He owned Northwoods and sold it to Derek Bone because he was getting old and he was getting ill, and Derek Bone bought the rights to call them Northfield. But these are before Derek Bone put the new scales that he puts on all his knives he leaves the heat treat still on the bones. This was a Stockman pattern, just a jackknife, not a Stockman. Stephen, get your head together. It's the shotgun. Oh God, for goodness sake, man! This is the gun butt, whatever you call it.
Butt stock.
Yes, yeah, I can't remember now. My head is gone. But this is beautiful. It just has really beautifully shined blades. The blades are so polished. But it's not something you'll see very often because Northwoods are very expensive anyway at the best of time.
Yeah.
But this one is just absolutely stunning. And the fact that it's pre-Derek Bone sort of means a lot because the chances, I've never seen another one to buy since I got this one. I had to pay a bit for it, but it wasn't too bad, to be honest. I was quite happy paying it, but I'll probably never use this. And I don't have many knives that I don't use. Now, I mightn't heavy use them, but, I'll always sort of use them. But this is one that I just haven't been able to bring myself to use since I've done the testing on it. But beautiful knife. It's the bone that gets me. That jigging is just gorgeous. Really love that. Lovely pattern. So there you go. Sorry about my brain hemorrhage.
JW and Jerome said it's a gun stock.
Gun stock, yeah. Oh, of course, as soon as I finished, I know what it is.
Pretty knife.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Did you want more safe queens, RJ, or?
We can certainly do another one. Let me
Another
switch
round?
the screen. Sure.
I'll
Another
grab
round on
another
you.
one.
Yeah, we can do another round. Who's buying this round? That's always the important part.
I'll buy it. I'll
The
buy it.
host. The host.
The host is buying. Well, as long as you guys like iced tea and water and coffee, I'm set.
I'm your man.
Got my tea going on right now.
Those are the kind of rounds I buy now.
That's
Okay,
perfect.
there you go. Tom, you
Oh, I
you
love
are-
that knife.
Oh
This is
yeah,
I love that one, Tom.
yeah.
the Buck Mini Mentor. So I didn't even know they made a Mentor, and then of course the Mini Mentor. They stopped making them back in the late 90s, I think, or early 2000s. The original Mentors were kind of like a budget fixed blade, had some sort of thermoplastic, whatever, handles and this and that. But the Mini Mentor, for whatever reason, seemed to be a popular pattern for the Buck custom shop, because this one's called the Running Deer, with the deer cut out, and that's in 24 karat gold. And then it's got these burl wood handles.
Love the handles.
Mhm.
But they came out with several different models. One had like a elk profile, I think, and I think there was one with like a hunting dog, and then on the handle it had dog tracks on it and stuff. So yeah. So this is out of the Buck custom shop. And this one was, I don't know when it was produced. Like I said, maybe the late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere in there. And then for a sheath, instead of a standard Buck sheath, it just has this simple design here. And it doesn't say Buck on it, but it has a Buck on it.
Stunning.
I was gonna say the grizzly you had a while ago, Tom. The sheath you had for it
Yeah,
looks like a Colt holster,
yeah,
like old
it does.
6-shooter holster. I
Yep.
like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yep,
the custom
carrying
shop
a-
really does some nice work.
In fact, I have a sheath like that on right now on my belt. But I didn't want to have anybody see me unbuckling my belt on camera. So, but since we're going to do a second round of the Safe Queens, I do have another one. I carry this one from time to time. I haven't showed it really in quite a long time, and it's the one that I have the sheath like that, and that is this Moormaker Trapper. And this is the Texas Trapper. I got RJ's Knives laser engraved on it. And so it has Texas on this side for a shield. And then it's got the Lone Star on the other, and this lovely yellow bone, but highly polished 1095 blades. And, so here's your clip, which, again, nice full size trapper, and then here is the spay blade on it. So really a very cool knife. I was lucky enough to be able to get this, and they don't charge that much extra. I think it was only like $8 to get something engraved on there, but just kind of a really fun knife. I have a separate video on this guy, but I really enjoy that. That's one I'm going to keep nice also, because I got it really for the channel, so that was kind of fun.
Hey, RJ,
Yes, sir.
I thought after last week we weren't supposed to be showing our spay blades because we didn't want to drive Patty over the edge.
Well, when it comes down to nut cutting time, you need a good spay blade.
Okay.
Definitely.
In fact, it was funny. I was talking to a guy this week, and so the subject of knives came up, but not spay blades at all. But he said, I remember growing up. He says, I have this 2-bladed case knife that I got from my uncle. He goes, and I remember, going down to his ranch and stuff, and he goes, he used to use it to cut the nuts off the stallions, and it just made me laugh, because we were just talking about this like last week, and this guy had no idea. He doesn't watch the channel at all, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So that was hilarious. And I was pretty sure it was a trapper when he said a 2-bladed case knife. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, it had to have a blade big enough to make the cut in one cut.
Oh yeah, that's for sure, especially on a horse.
Oh yeah.
Anyhow,
Oh, there we go.
I ain't done it though.
we need to
I'll jump in
segue.
here.
Save us, Stephen. Save us.
This is a Tony Bowes case knife.
Oh, that's nice.
This is one of his ones that he didn't. It was only made once a year, and he actually went into the factory to the custom shop, and he taught them how to make this model. Once a year, he done it on his knives, and it was for a SHOT Show, I think. But this is just a beautifully made case knife. Tony Bowes has just the most comfortable knife he makes in hand, even though it's a twin blade. It's a jackknife, but in hand it is just perfect. Everything just melts into it. It's just stunning. And the swedge and the long pull are just perfect for this size of a blade.
Yeah, he was such a great designer. All of his designs are just wonderful. And
every one of his knives were rounded. Do you know what I mean? There was no sharp corners on them,
right.
So you could just grab them. You didn't have to think, well, I'm going to put my finger, and you could just do any hand grip with them. They were beautiful, and I don't think that'll ever get used. But a beautiful knife.
Yeah.
And I think it was more poignant because it was the year he died. I got it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wish I would have been really collecting back then when he was alive, when his designs weren't quite as expensive as they are now, because obviously he's not designing anymore. But what do we got there, John? It looks like you got something that Tom would like.
Well, it's a Schrade USA LB7, and I think it's actually from the 80s. And nice. I bought it as I think a teenager. I think around 82 is when this was, I guess, available, but I've never used it. And it's just so nice now. It doesn't get used. So it just stays in the collection, and it's just something that is kind of from my childhood, teenage years, and I've got the sheath. It's original. It looks great. I don't have it in the room here with me, but Schrade LB7, very common, but maybe not one of this age in condition. I would say that might be kind of difficult, and even there's the number. So I've tried to date it, but I think someone in a comment in one of my videos said it was from early 80s. And that probably makes sense.
I know the plus on the blade means that's when they switch steels to the stainless steel.
Oh, okay. So it's a stainless steel.
Yeah. Now, do you happen to have a 110?
No, I do not have 110. I have a 112.
I don't have an LB7 either, but because I see in comments and stuff that people prefer the Schrade over the Buck, and that they thought that the Schrade was better than the Buck. And I have no idea. I don't have the Schrade, so I have nothing to compare it with.
It's a hefty knife.
Yeah.
It really is. And very cool. But I mean, I've got others, but I thought this would be a little different than another Victorinox. But
sure,
because I have some Wenger and Victorinox, kind of rare ones that I would never use either. But
well, that's always fun, though. I mean, and
Yeah, it's a fun knife.
As Steven knows, he's already warned me to stay away from the Victorinox rabbit hole, but it was too late. I think I'll need the bunny knife to get out of the Victorinox rabbit hole.
Yeah, I love them. I love them.
Well, they are. They're really handy and useful knives, and as time has gone on, I've had different multi-tools, the Leathermans and the Gerbers and stuff like that, but I find myself turning more and more back to the Victorinox models as a multi-tool of choice for me. They just fit into what I do and how I use those tools. Yeah, so I think I really okay, Jeroen, boy, he really threw it in there. Round one, Schrade or Buck is the better knife. Wow. Thrifty's joined in. He says the Buck is the better knife in his opinion. Tom, you're kind of the Buck man. Go ahead. Pros and cons.
Well, I don't know, but I don't have the LB7. That's what I'm saying. I don't have one to compare.
Do you have other Schrades? You could kind of compare them in a way.
Oh, I mean, just hands down, Buck. If you're just going to go brand wide, Buck hands down.
I've been thinking about getting a Buck 110. It's kind of on my list, but
no, I'm just curious if I had an LB7 and a 110 together to look at. Some said they thought the blade shape was a little better on the Schrade. I don't know because I don't have one to compare it to. So I'm just curious if anyone else has both models that they could compare.
I saw an interesting knife video that came up in my feed, and it was from I'd have to look back in my videos that I've watched because it was a channel I'd never watched. There's this guy, he's a actual hunting guide, and he makes his living doing that. And he said that although a lot of people, he was talking about his most used knives, and he said although a lot of people talk about the Buck 110 for skinning and stuff like that, he actually did not like the shape of that blade for general skinning. And that actually the Buck knife that he preferred was the 113 Ranger Skinner.
Oh,
he
sure.
said that was much more useful to him as an actual skinning knife. And he's somebody that, processes game animals for a living. So I thought it was interesting to get somebody's opinion like that, because I mean, we're casual knife users, and even guys that hunt and get their own game. Some years you're lucky, some years you're not, but we're not doing it for a living like he is, where he's probably, breaking down, I don't know,
RJ JW in the comments says that he's got both.
Okay.
And he said the ergonomics on the LB7 are better than the Buck 110, but the steel is better because of the heat treat, I think is what the comments are saying here. So, somebody else, Jeroen said, Schrade is more budget, more of a budget version of the Buck 110 design. But, I have no idea why I even bought that one. I don't know. I just thought it was cool probably as a teenager, and I just picked it up. But it's so nice now. I don't even want to use it.
Back then, we were just like everybody else, especially as teenagers in the early 80s.
Yep.
We only had, so much money. We're on a limited budget. And a lot of those knives, especially Schrades and stuff, those were a lot of the first knives that I carried because I could afford them, and Bucks were something that you had to, save up for. And, didn't always have, money to, get stuff like that, especially in the 80s. When you're just starting out, so.
Well, I've explored more Bucks and, Buck models, and I'm really liking them. I got a couple of the moderns, the 112 Slim Select and the Quickfire. And those are really great knives, so I'm enjoying the Buck models that I've picked up.
Yeah, Gary loves that Quickfire.
I'll just say this, RJ. in the 70s and 80s, everyone referred to a knife on the belt as a buck knife.
Absolutely.
Never once did I ever hear them referred to as a Schrade knife.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's because even the guys who had a Schrade were trying to pass for a buck.
That's right. Yeah.
That's why they all had the black snap leather sheath, and
Right.
But I mean, I can remember even for myself, as soon as I could get one, I chose a Buck 112 as my, belt knife of choice back then. So I had the Buck 112, but yeah, Buck 110s were popular. But everybody, and I mean everybody, came out with a knife that had, the brass bolster, brass cap, and the wood inserts. And I saw that from every single knife brand, and guys had all kinds of custom sheaths that they had on their belts. You'd see open top sheaths and heavily tooled sheaths and all kinds of stuff. And who knew what it was, but all you saw was a little bit of brass and wood. And so everybody just naturally, it's almost like a Coke. Everybody's they don't care that it's a Pepsi or an RC or whatever. It's a Coke. So or a Kleenex for a tissue. The brand name becomes the object.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kirby Creek outfit says you can't go wrong with either.
That's true. That's true.
And he's a man that would know. If
he uses them. Yeah, I love the way he does videos and uses the Buck 110 to do all that. And
this year for his monthly challenges, his knife is the 117. So
yeah,
every year they have to choose a new knife to use for the year, and this year's knife is the 117.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting group that they have there. It's really really cool. There you go.
Patty's Buck.
The Buck Bluffer, hiding it in the sheath. That's absolutely right.
What you got there, Stephen?
This is my book that I've got now at the minute. This is my book copy.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
My son was going on holiday a couple of years ago, and he said, "What would you like brought back?" I said, "Look, go to the local hardware store and buy me a local working knife. A traditional working knife."
Sure.
My son knows nothing about knives. There's no interest in them, and this is what he brought me back. There's no name on it. It's a generic make, but it actually took a really good edge. I put an edge on it, and it took a really good edge. I don't think it'll last long, but it's quite a cute little knife.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yet again, when I was younger, I would have said this, it's a buck.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Hey, old fart. And hey, Beans Blades. Nice to see you guys here. Yeah, just all those knives, from that time era. And I know a lot of it is kind of U.S. centric, because that was the style, that was the thing in that late 70s, early 80s thing. And, of course, they were on TV with the Dukes of Hazzard. Those guys had them, and everybody wanted to be like them, when we were kids.
Yep.
And, because who doesn't want to jump a broken bridge in an old Dodge Charger, And
if you ever watched the series Longmire on Netflix, he uses a Buck 110 and carries it. And,
Yeah.
It's shown as a cool knife to carry, and to use.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been in all kinds of movies and television shows,
Right.
and it was just, and that was the whole thing. It was kind of, it really was a, groundbreaking knife when it first was introduced in the, mid 60s. I mean, that just changed the whole knife industry right there. That just was like, wow, that it was, such a big disruptor. And kind
Look
of
at us talking all nice about bucks, Tom.
Yeah, and Tom's sitting there just enjoying it. He's in the glow. Yeah,
I'm having a pleasant afternoon. You might say I'm over the moon.
Talking about TV shows, does anybody ever remember F Troop?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
that was one of my favorite shows.
that
as
was a
young
good
kid.
show.
I loved Death Troop.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Uh-huh. But I mean, I was brought up in Cowboys and Indians. I mean, that was
Yeah.
the Bowie knife and all that sort of thing was the things you. But I mean, to be honest, even as a youngster, I always played the Indian because I loved making bows and arrows and doing that sort of thing. So,
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good time. You know, I mean, yeah, we did the same thing. They had all those reruns on, especially when I was a kid. I can remember I was so excited every day when they had the old Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett shows
Yeah.
on TV, and they would show that, and these guys set their big Bowie knives and the tomahawks and all that stuff. That was the thing, and to this day I'm still fascinated with that time period in America. You know, the mountain men and the trappers and the muzzle loading rifles and stuff that they had. Jeremiah Johnson, we were talking about earlier, is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
It is one of my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Jeremiah Johnson?
That's
Yes.
with Robert Redford.
I don't recognize that. I'm going to have a look for that one. I'm writing all these things down here.
Yes. Be sure to watch that one, Patty, because that one, I know you're going to enjoy that. That's
a classic. That's a classic.
Absolutely. It's a really great Western. And it was more about the mountain men and the stuff that they went through and all that stuff. So, yeah. And The Last Ranger talks about the Cisco Kid. Yeah. The Lone Ranger, the Rifleman. Yeah. Judge Roy Bean. That's another great movie. Just
there's a knife I would love to get. Is the rifle? Was it Remington on the Rifleman series or Camillus?
He used a Winchester rifle.
Winchester, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to get one of those with a rifle on it. That's one of my ones that's in the long finger.
Right. The long rifle series that they had. It's just all that stuff is fun. Reminiscing about those things.
Was it Daniel Boone that had the opening scene where he throws the tomahawk and splits the tree?
I think so.
Was it Daniel Boone or Davy Crockett?
It was one or the other, but
I think it was Daniel Boone, wasn't it?
I think it was, but I haven't seen those in years. But talk about the fringe, buckskins and stuff.
Yeah.
I just went through the Daniel Boone National Forest.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, because he's right there in your neck of the woods, and and he had a really interesting history. If you look up, the history of Daniel Boone and the early settlement going there through the Cumberland Gap and all that stuff. Really neat stuff. That early part of American history.
Yeah, we even have a river here in Iowa named the Boone River, and it was because it was explored by, I think, Daniel's son or grandson or something like that. So, yeah, the Boone family had a lot of exploration under their belt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Davy Crockett had his musket was called Bess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bess.
Old Bess. Yep.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love watching the History Channel now. They're starting to make some really good movies or films about the old timers and the trappers and all that. They're up in the mountains and they're starting to tell the story. And what a flipping hard knife them boys had compared to us. That was a hard way to make a living.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they talk about covering themselves in bear grease so they and then so they could wade through those icy cold mountain streams, checking their trap lines. I can't even imagine just on a hot summer day, I've been in them mountain streams and how freezing cold they are. I can't even imagine in the wintertime getting in those frigid cold waters. And I don't know.
You go back to sort of modern era, the 60s, when the long distance swimmers were doing like across channel swims. They put the fat all over them, just like the old trappers would have done. They were still using that method because it worked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a swim I don't want to do. How long is it across the channel, Patty?
60 miles is the
60.
closest part.
Wow, that is just I never got that whole long distance swimming thing like that. I'm lucky if
Oh.
I cross the pool. Yeah,
Be my luck, I get eaten by a shark or something.
yeah, that too. That too. Although I don't know if the sharks prefer that cold water or not. You know.
Oh yeah, they do. They come up off Scotland every year.
Oh,
We get the killer
yeah.
whales.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, there's sharks in all the waters.
And on the west coast of Ireland, shark fishing is a very big thing in the season for shark fishing.
Oh,
Very
okay.
big. There's a lot of boats from the west coast of Ireland go out.
I didn't even know. I'm with you, Jerome. I'll take the boat.
Yeah. If I caught a shark on a line, I would throw it straight into the sea. Just the line, everything, go.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good plan. Just cut the line if you can.
Yeah. I was a fly fisherman. Anything over about 2 or 3 pound is not coming in.
Did you get into it enough that you were tying your own flies?
I tried. I didn't succeed very well, but I did try, and I realized just how hard it was to make a good fly. So
Yeah.
no, I didn't laugh. I bought all the gear as usual. I get into a hobby, and I bought
Right.
all the gear. Looked like a professional sitting in front of the table, and then my fingers just let me down.
Yeah, that's the thing is that most men's hobbies are gear centric and gear heavy.
Yeah.
You know, because
No, I didn't laugh it.
Yep, that's for sure. Fun stuff. All right. Does anybody else have something knife related they'd like to talk about or show?
Latest leather project.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go for that. It looks like Steven has some more stuff too.
Yeah, this is a sheath for a copper lock, case copper
Oh.
lock.
Yeah, I love the copper lock.
Yeah,
That's
so,
a fantastic knife.
Yeah, this is a vertical, going to be a vertical sheath. As you can see, I'm kind of not quite there yet, but yeah, I'll glue these together and punch them. That's the next step. I've got the.
Is that a stag on the front of that?
Yeah, it's a deer.
That's lovely.
I got to figure out which one I got.
That's really well done.
That's stamped into there. You wet the leather when it's at this stage. See, I've got one here that's not quite done yet, but you wet this and then stamp it and then dye it after that. But this is one, these are mistakes, and I've kept this for myself. I keep all the mistakes for myself, and then this is actually for somebody who's asked me to make these for them. So,
it's a beautiful looking sheath.
Yeah, it was kind of inspired by this one, which I don't know where my copper lock went, but the copper lock goes right in there, and that's a side draw. But so this is the latest, and I usually make a pattern. So Tom, you're right. I make a pattern, but not out of a file folder. But
Not out of a file folder?
No, but that would be a good way to make a pattern. I just thought you guys would be interested in seeing what it looks like in the early stages of construction. So this will get glued and punched and then stitched. So then after that, I'll do some sanding on the edges because they don't always match up just perfectly. So I'll do some stamping. I'll re-dye the edges and burnish it, flick them, make them really shiny. They're part way there now, but you can kind of see the edges have been flicked up. But and I do the stitching by hand. Yes, Jerome. And I do saddle stitching with a needle at both ends. And I use a kind of makeshift stitching pony to hold the item in place once it's been glued. You've got to glue these two pieces together. I use wood glue, and then I clamp it, let it dry kind of overnight for a few hours, and then punch the holes and then stitch it along the edge by hand. And that's how I almost gave you the finger. That's how I stabbed myself earlier, stitching these this part right here. That was all stitched by hand right there. So you can see that. So it's
Nice
saddle
work.
stitched.
Yeah, very cool. I like how you stamp the leather. I think it gives it really such a good design. You know,
Yeah, there's the buck and here's the fish. You can see that's got a fish on it.
oh yeah,
Happy.
Yeah, very cool.
Yep.
all right, El Phoenix, we'll see you.
Take care.
Okay, let's get.
So, talking about having your knife engraved for you and your channel.
Yeah.
When I first started doing YouTube, my wife had one done for me,
Oh,
and
cool.
this is a Kaiser Doman, and she had it engraved CB Tactical for me. I don't really use this knife because she got it for me, so I guess it's considered a safe queen. But
There you go.
I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
I think it was like $15 to have it engraved. So, but she thought that was cool, and I was like, well, that is cool because my wife gave it to me,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I know y'all have seen it before, but I never use it. I've never planned on using it, and that's my buck 110 is my father's. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it's kind of got a recurve in it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been sharpened so much that it's starting to get a natural recurve to it. But I don't carry this knife. I don't really bring it out much except for these lives. But I guess this would be my one other real safe queen because
Yeah.
I mean, I think that sort of thing is a proper safe queen because it's
Yeah.
had a life. It doesn't need to be used anymore. It's had a
Right.
life. Why would you want to damage it?
right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah, when it belonged to your father, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
That looks familiar.
That is lovely work.
It really
Yes, it
is.
Oh, don't look at the stitching on that.
I was the benefactor of one of John's sheaths.
Gorgeous.
I bought this Buck 116 caper, and it did not have the proper sheath for it. And I asked John if he'd make a sheath for me, and he did.
Wow.
And this is for scout carry. Just a beautiful
Beautiful.
sheath.
Yeah.
And then he also made this sheath for it also.
Wow.
So I got 2 for 1. But I'll tell you what, this thing sure fits snug in there. That thing's not coming out. Do wonderful work there, John.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Really nice.
Appreciate it.
Well,
The biggest
Well,
advertising for Buck is about to come out soon. The new Scream movie. They showed the Buck 119 on there, like on the previews 4 or
do they?
5 times. Real good visual of the 119.
Yeah. That's for sure.
well, I also managed to get this week
Okay.
because you boys have nagged me into getting these fixed blades. This is an Arthur Wright and Sons, who I connect their pen knives, and Ashley Harrison. This is a beautiful leather handle, the sort of the stacked leather, and I think this is G10 at the top here, the red and the black. But it is an aluminium pommel, but it is beautiful in my hand, I have to say. Lovely little woods knife. But somebody actually hit it with a belt sander. You can see there, they must have just jammed it on it, and but it'll not matter. It's still a nice wee knife. It'll get, whether it gets used much or not, I don't know. It's more of just a collection piece to keep you boys quiet.
Is that jimping on the back of the blade?
Say it again, sorry.
Is that jimping on the back of the blade?
It is, yeah. On either side, there's the spine of the blade, and it's on either side. which is something Arthur Wright and Son do on their knives. They will do the jimping on their fixed blades along the top. And I think it's just lovely. Very, very simple little design, simple steel, but just a lovely wee knife.
That is a lovely knife.
But that's keeping me until I get my buck 102 or 106, isn't it? 102?
All right.
Yeah, you need the 102 for sure. That one,
Yeah.
you'll love that one because I
Well,
love mine.
That's going to
cool.
keep him off my back until I get one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I have some more to show you guys too. Since you talked about the fixed blades, here's the little knife, that Schrade that I just showed on Friday. That's the flying knife is what I'll call it because it went flying right out of my hands during that video. If you haven't seen that, and hopefully you guys will get a chuckle out of that. But full tang construction. This is a Uncle Henry, the 301 UH. So it has the next gen Staglon handle. Just really nice detail skinner, but I like that it has a thumb ramp on top and a choil here, so you can really get in there and control it for some nice detail work, or anything that you needed a lot of control to work on, some whittling or something like that. But also, I got a package that I had no idea was coming from Stuart Harvey, and he sent me some knives that he said they came with a national stock number for the military, and these are what was referred to in the military as locking or lever locking knives, I think is what it was. And so I thought that was kind of a funny way to call it, but what they are is some lockback knives. And so this looks just like a buck 110, but this is actually Klein's version of that knife.
Wow, that's nice looking.
Yeah, what a beautiful blade. Like I said, everybody and their brother made this, and if you pulled this out, it could easily be mistaken for a buck knife. Yeah. That's exactly what most people call it. So that's cool. And then he also sent another one that I had never seen before, and maybe you guys have seen it, maybe you haven't. And this is a Kershaw version that was also accepted into service. And so this is the same type of a knife, but take a look at that. So I'm gonna have to do some research. It has like a kind of a plastic. It might be a G10. I'm not sure of insert in the middle instead of wood, but definitely a very cool knife. I thought this was awesome. So I'm gonna do videos on these as well.
That Klein has a beautiful belly on it.
Yeah, it does. Here, I'll bring it back out since it's right here. But yeah, check that out. I mean, that's just a really nice. Sorry,
I meant the other one.
Oh, you meant the other one. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got the
You're
names
right,
mixed up.
JW. It's the Wildcat Ridge. That name is on the knife itself. It's the Kershaw Wildcat Ridge. 3140, I think, is the model number here. Made in China. So here you go.
Beautiful belly.
Yeah. So really, really cool. And so no, the Kershaw, Gary, this is China made. So
Maybe I don't need to get a buck then. Maybe I could just get a Chinese one that looks like a buck.
You sure could. You could probably get a Pakistan one that looks like the buck for even less.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could.
Oh, I've really upset him now. He's up table.
I think he got a little sick at that. So he had to
Bring your
stop.
Uncle Henry back up.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Here, let me go back into.
RJ and guys, I think I'm going to have to sign off here, but this has been fantastic.
Okay, John. Well, thank you for coming by. I'm glad that you were able to spend time with us. The last time you were on, you were only on for a short time.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
really
glad
appreciate it very much.
Glad you were here. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
Well,
here's
John,
I don't know
thank
if
you.
Tom's still there, but see you
Okay.
later, and thank you very much, CB and Steven, and good to see you.
Take care, my
You
friend.
too, John. Good to see
Yeah.
you.
all right. So here it is, CB. Did you have a question about it?
Well, I think I have its brother.
Oh, okay.
Uh, this is a little different than yours. See,
Okay.
it's got more of a curve to it, I think. And then where it's a full tang, it's got the lanyard hole in the tang instead of the handle.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But
That's a lovely shape.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, my father got me this set. It came with a sod buster. I guess this is what I call a sod buster. But they come in a pack together.
Very nice.
Is that
I think
Uncle
it's
Henry?
really neat. A Whittler?
Is it Uncle Henry?
Yeah, it's Uncle Henry.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they make some nice stuff, man. And
Yeah.
you
Yeah, they
know,
do.
I look at these gift packs every time they come out during the holiday seasons. You know, Walmart has them sitting out everywhere, and
Right.
you know, I just kind of never really bought any. But my dad come over here one day, is like, "I got you something," and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And I've been wanting to get one, just check them out. And he brought some to me, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's that
Right.
CR17 or 7CRs? Is it 7CR17 still?
Yes, that's
I've
the.
never used one for any length of time, so I don't know. What's it last as long as it is?
It's,
420 or
It's very similar to 440A.
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
so it'll
so-
do it. Do it.
Right.
Enough.
The main difference, because I was researching that, the main difference between it and 440A is that it has a little more of the vanadium in it, so it's a higher
Right.
corrosion resistance. But other than that, all other properties are about equal to 440A as far as how it sharpens and
Yeah, it's absolutely fine for.
absolutely, especially for an outdoor knife. You
Yeah.
want that corrosion resistance because you're going to be outdoors and it's going to be damp and wet or whatever. So anything that keeps the rust off it is a good thing.
Yeah.
And then it's not hard to take care of when you're out in the field either to touch up the
Not
edge.
the fact it's not going to be Rockwell very high, which will give it the toughness.
Right. And Gary says 2 cuts and it's dull. So
That's why you buy knives like me. You just grab a new knife.
there you go.
You do 2 more cuts.
It makes sense.
I see John snuck out on me. I didn't.
He
have
did.
to-
He
said goodbye.
He said
Oh,
to say
doggone
goodbye, and he was hoping you were there to say goodbye too, but he took off.
Yeah.
Did anybody see the wee flashlight I got this week?
No, I
Yes.
didn't.
And I loved that flashlight.
It's so different.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, is that the one with the magnet on it?
Yeah, the mic, and it's such
maybe
a
I did
strong
see it.
magnet. I mean, look at this big knife through the leather, and it will nearly hold that up. Oh, it's not going to, but it holds a hell of a lot up. And it's got the
Wow.
side clip, so you can clip it in your top pocket if you wanted, or under your shirt. If you're walking about at nighttime. But it's really beautiful. But the thing about it is, let me get it up here. I can't work where it's going. If you lift that up, that's where the charger is, and it comes with a battery, the 18350, I think it is. You hold it down, but that is also how you turn the flashlight on. You just push it down, and your flashlight comes on. You push it again, and it cycles through them all.
Yeah.
Just fantastic little torch. But it's only 1 lumen on that first one, which is great for if you're showing a knife and you want to show the inside of it. It doesn't, the reflectivity is not that strong.
Right.
It's just a lovely little table knife or table really nice. And the blue anodization is done so well in the wee pocket clip and on the top. And there's wee place to put tritium on them. You know, the tritium vials.
Right.
Sorry. It's gone here. But anyway, it's I just thought it's so different than what's out there at the minute. That's about £50. But I just think it's lovely now.
I do
Really
too.
nice.
I found that doing the work I do, I look inside of machines a lot. So I like a low lumen because you'll get that reflection back into your face, the glare off of the metal, and you can't see what you're looking at. But I really have come to appreciate the right angle flashlights because sometimes if you wear like a headlamp or something like that, the problem we have, as you guys know, you probably wear bifocals like I do, and you're trying to see something. So now if you're looking through the bottom part of your glasses, you raise your head up and now your light is shining there. But if you put it down so it's around your neck, then the light's not high enough for you to see what you're looking at. And, so those are old man problems.
In the Navy, when I was in it, you were issued the right angle green torches.
Yeah,
With the two big batteries in it. That's what we had.
Right.
Those are military lights. Yeah.
But it's funny.
Well, it's got them with there'd be a yellow lens and a red lens.
Yes,
that's correct. Yeah, came with all three.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and you kept the red one in most of the time. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, especially the nighttime seeing.
Oh, and TK wants to know if you attach that to your tassels, Steve.
Only on my skirt.
Yeah, and Jerome, I agree. The good blinding mode as a security guy, that's always a good tactic too. I like that.
Yeah, that wee thing is about 1,100 lumens for such a tiny wee. It's just amazing what we're getting out of the flashlights now. Now, thankfully, I'm not down that rabbit hole, but that was a given one, so I'm quite happy with it.
I've got a flashlight over here. I can turn it on high, and within about 30 seconds, you can cook an egg on it.
That is
leave it on high very long.
Hey, Byron, he's here, just popping in to say hi, watching a football game. Good deal. All right, and Jerome, he's taken off for the night. So yes, you stay well too, my friend.
No, it wasn't Olight. It was Phoenix Light. Yeah,
there's so many different ones. I do like that super powerful Olight one. I forget the name of it, but it's crazy powerful. You can see like a half mile away or something like that.
I mean, that's enough to blind the helicopter pilot that's gone overhead.
Right. Yeah. Jay Hardesty says, I'm way down the flashlight rabbit hole. He has 130 of them, I think. And when you're stuck down a rabbit hole, I think Patty's solution is to buy the bunny knife.
Well, with all them flashlights, you can see your way out of the rabbit hole.
Yeah, you hope so. But it depends on how many twists and turns you have taken. Yeah.
Right.
So
I'll tell you what I used this week. I was talking about leather slips. I wish Jay was here. I converted this to be a little fixed blade sheath.
Oh, yeah.
And this is one I had made for me ages ago, and I hadn't used it. It was so pretty. He actually had a little, that's the way it comes. It's HSEDC makes it. And he actually puts a leather bit on top of it. And it is stunning. But what I done was I got a bit of rough leather I had. I cut a little small sort of stick size, pushed it right down into the bottom so that when I put my fixed blade in, and this is a tight leather, I can just put the end of it in and it actually holds it super. Really lovely little, and it's great to carry in my pocket. It doesn't fall over too much because it's a wide slip.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed carrying that wee knife this week.
Yeah, that is nice. Also, I wanted to bring up for the panel and to give you guys kind of a preview. I was watching JB's channel on Friday, and he had a video out of his top 5 Rough Rider knives. And so I thought that would be a fun open tag. So I'm going to make an open tag on that that'll release tomorrow. But I figured if you guys want to join in, I'm sure Steven, I know you have Rough Riders, and
Yeah.
Tom, you have them. And no, you don't have any Rough Riders? You got
Well,
one?
I got two, I guess. I got the one fixed blade, and I got the little miniature Congress.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I know that, John from Thrifty Kniffy, he can join in too. Gary, I'm sure you probably have 5. But I just thought, that'll be a fun. Oh, okay. Yeah. JW will be in on that. Yeah. I thought it was a fun open tag because, I think everybody loves Rough Rider knives. And I thought that's a pretty good open.
I think that's quite a good way of getting people to come in towards this channel and this sort of format. Is every week if we have an open tag that
Right.
at least 5 of us or 4 of us are going to do, it'll get the word out a wee bit more. Just make
I-
it, even if we send you a list of open tags that we would like, you just pick
Yes.
one for the week. It's your channel, and we
That's
do it.
exactly what I was going to say, to you guys and to the people in the chat also is if there's open tag ideas that you'd like to see, if there's any topics you'd like us to cover, because this is your show too. For everybody that's been watching since the beginning, I really thank you for being here. Anybody that watches this back as a replay, I hope that you guys are enjoying the show that much that you actually watch the whole thing. But yeah, definitely, of course, JW, it's your open tag. You can have however you want to do it. Reserves, regular Rough Riders. That's up to you. You make it how you want to. Yeah, Mimo, you can join in too. But yeah, anybody that has an open tag idea, or if you want to suggest a topic, something you want to see in particular, we'll see if we can. Oh, good. If you have a lot of open tag ideas, then hit me up in an email or DM me on Instagram, and we'll definitely do
Yeah.
that. In
Open
fact,
tags
JW,
are good.
I
Open
need to-
tags are fun.
yeah, open tags are fun, and I need to get you back on the show, JW. You haven't been on for a while, so I think I'll bring you back on here this next week, and you can come back and we'll do some open tags and questions and stuff. It'll be fun, but we'll.
And it gives CB a chance to check us on our locking knives and our tactical knives to see what we have.
Exactly. Yeah, we can have CBL say you have to do an open tag of 5 knives that have only been designed in the last 2 years. And,
But the problem with that is even though they might have been released in the past 2 years, it's still the same design that's been going on for the past 10 or 15.
I hear you, brother.
I do have a question for Stephen. You've been doing the 3 for Thursdays.
Yeah.
Do you want us to watch your video and then match what you're doing for your 3? Because this last Thursday, I just came up with my own 3, but
Exactly. I think coming up with your own 3 is brilliant because then we get to see more knives rather than just having all the same.
Okay.
I mean, that was the whole point when I started. I just want to see everything, you know what I mean? So
that's a good open tag. That's a fun one.
and for CB Tactical, 3 of your tactical knives, that would be perfect because it just gives everybody it brings more people in to get us all together rather than them, us. It's nice. I love the fact that CB's here. It brings us. It gives us a wee bit of modern knives. Otherwise, the cobwebs will start coming down on the channel.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I try to balance it out with a good balance of traditional guys and modern guys. And, let's talk about I love all the knives. And I think,
I do too.
Everybody else does too.
I've got a flint knife that's over here that I've had for years and years. It ain't even got a handle on it. It's just the blade. I need to make a handle for it, but I even like caveman knives. You know what I mean?
Very much.
Knives are in our DNA.
Oh yeah.
People can say what they want to, but you use it every day. Doesn't matter if it's a kitchen knife or whatever. You
Right.
use a knife every day.
So we were laughing about butter knives earlier on. I seen a knife came up for sale this week, and it was a horn butter knife, and it was a lovely piece of horn with a big fat sort of blunted spear. But on the bottom of it, a lovely brass finish on the horn at the bottom, and you set it on the table upright, and it sort of slants like that. And it is the most fantastic looking knife, but it went
Yeah.
more than I was able to go at the time. But really beautiful.
Yeah, I
and
bet.
this last week I was looking up flint knives, CB, just to see what was out there and what was available. And one of the things I found was interesting is they said there are surgeons that, like the guys that do like the little surgeries, the micro stuff, like on veins and tendons and all this other stuff, that they actually
Obsidian.
prefer a flint scalpel, because the wounds and stuff, when they make those cuts, they just heal up so nice, and there's hardly any scarring and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting that they're still using, flint knives in modern times in a modern hospital setting is not what you would expect. You'd think it'd just be like a collector thing or something that someone would have for historical interest. But I thought it was fascinating that people are still using those tools today.
Well,
Hey,
I mean,
RJ,
Yes, sir.
KJ is back in the chat, so no more talking about KJ.
Okay, I'll quit picking on him. It was easy when he wasn't here.
I know it.
Well,
Welcome back, KJ.
I know a lot of scalpels were made out of obsidian, and like obsidian is the only substance on earth that can get as sharp as it does. You can never get a blade that sharp, and I know they're real popular in the medical world.
I mean, let's be honest, for years, knives didn't have handles on them. They were just a flint rock that had been napped.
Right.
They just napped them, and they
And
could.
scrape or
Yeah.
cut.
They have a boy here that goes around all the bushcraft shows in England, and he gets a deer up and he skins the whole deer with a bit of flint that he's napped himself. And honestly, you couldn't tell the difference between that and the knife he had. You couldn't.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, KJ is glad that you're defending him, Tom. Yeah, it's possible, Mimo, if they might have used a obsidian scalpel on your eye, because that would be a delicate surgery where they wanted minimal scarring for sure. Yeah,
I'll go back and look
Interesting
at it, TK.
I'm sorry, what was that?
TK said I missed his Benchmade sub collection last week. I'll go back and look at it.
Yeah, I have to tell you that looking at the SHOT Show coverage, to go back to that, the offerings from Benchmade didn't really interest me at all. I was kind of underwhelmed by their offerings, and I was kind of disappointed at how much they're asking for their knives now. I thought that they were really overpriced for what you're getting.
They changed the color on a Grivory bug out to blue, and then charging £200 for it instead of $130. Well, what?
Yeah,
it came out in blue.
Yeah,
couldn't understand that at all.
Well, I just got the Smoky Mountain Knife Work bug out, and it was, I want to say it was $230 or something like that, but it was CPM M4.
I mean, yes, you can see that, but this is just S30V on it, I think.
The
right?
scales, yeah. Oh no, that ain't worth that. I mean, you could buy scales cheap.
Yeah.
Put them on.
I just couldn't believe the prices spent. CRKT and Kershaw were probably the two best booths because they had some new stuff, and it was reasonably priced.
Yeah, I agree. That was good. And like I said, I was excited by the vault pattern from Case, because I thought,
nice. I think they'll probably get that.
Yeah, you just don't see very many Congress knives anymore.
Yeah,
so
I've got that one.
Yeah, so it's an interesting pattern. Whereas, like I said, the small swell center did not really do it for
No,
me.
no. But you see,
RJ,
when I started in Case, I thought they were all right for years, and I really didn't invest any money in them at all. But this last 3 years, I don't know what I have now, maybe 15 or 16. They're all blooming good. I was very choosy where I bought them and who I bought them off. But
Right.
their fit and finish and all of them is great. Their bone is absolutely beautifully cut and dyed,
Yes,
and their polish is second to none.
I almost bought
totally agree.
the Case NASA knife when I was at Smoky Mountain Knife Works.
Oh, that would be a
I
nice one.
almost bought it.
Yeah,
They're like $225.
right.
They're bigger than what you think they are. It's
Yeah.
like a small machete,
Right.
Right.
Well,
but
that's
it's
cool.
cool.
That's because you've got to go against those moon creatures. Then you need something that's going to get the job done.
Oh, it comes in a beautiful wooden case and everything. They had
Oh,
it in.
lovely.
I really wanted it. Was numbered, had like NASA on it and everything. It was a nice knife.
Mhm.
I've been wanting one
Yeah.
for a long time, but it's just been kind of hard to pull the trigger on something like that when you're not
Yeah.
going to use it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
I
for
agree.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with the Case Bowie knives. I love them. I think that
I
they
do
look
too.
fantastic, but they're another $200 knife that, let's be serious. Anytime you buy a Bowie knife,
Yeah.
and I have a couple I have yet to review on my channel, but they're knives that they're not necessarily safe queens, but I'm not gonna walk out down the street with a Bowie strapped to my side.
A 10.5-inch Bowie or 11-inch Bowie.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just- but like the black ivory or ebony handles, you got ebony and ivory is what I
Right.
call it, because you got the white handle and the black handle, but
Right.
that brass and the black handle, it's beautiful knife
Beautiful.
for sure.
Williams Knife has two Bowies from Case.
Yeah.
Two of them big, and he carries the blooming things.
Right. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I see him out there throwing them in the grass, and I'm
Yeah.
going, no.
Yeah, he's hunting crickets.
I mean, I'll carry this Hinder 5.5-inch
Oh,
Bowie,
so would I.
Yeah.
but this Rough Rider Bowie, that's 11 inches right there.
Right.
That's a sword. That's a short sword.
Yeah.
Gladiator.
Yeah.
I've got a Japanese sword collection, and the Wakasashi's the smaller sword. And literally, this is just like 3 inches shorter than that.
Yeah.
So,
Have
I've
you ever
never
done any
carried
reviews on your swords?
do what?
Have you done reviews on your swords?
No,
Oh,
because
do
I
them,
don't like
please.
messing with the handles too much, taking them on and off. And
Uh,
the thing about the swords are people want to see that they're authentic, and they've been verified and certified.
well, I
But-
would just love to see pictures of them, even in your Instagram up on the wall.
Yeah.
Love to see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to take them apart for us. We're easy to please.
Let's see.
And I don't know if you saw the comment, CB, but John, he said that you left Smoky Mountain Knife Works with just some lint in your wallet and a big bag of knives.
Absolutely, I did.
What do you think of the Hinder as like in use then? Is it good?
So this is one of the samurai swords I have.
Oh, let me bring you up full screen.
This one is over 200 years old,
My
wow.
goodness.
and
What
it's
material is that
brass.
made out of?
It's a brass sheath.
That is just stunning.
Wow.
And it's fully functional, but
Oh yeah, lovely pinned.
so this is like what I spent my money on from deployment. Is I
Right.
actually bought a bunch of swords from auction houses. I've got a bunch of NCO, Japanese NCO, katanas, sabers, and then like I've got a Japanese officer saber.
Oh,
Yeah,
you have to do reviews. Sorry, you have to.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, you gotta
that's a
share.
shame.
I'm
You
just
gotta
trying
be
to
shown.
get them quiet, because a lot of people are like, "What do you need that for?"
Oh.
But
CB,
What
When I was-
need is a bad 4-letter word.
right.
yeah,
So, during my deployment, it was all tax free, and I didn't spend my money on anything but these antique swords and everything
Oh, you
else.
have to do reviews on them. You have to.
Absolutely.
The
I would
Wakizashi
keep that
here.
in my play thing just to go back and look at them. It's just, oh, sorry. I think I asked too many times.
No, I just I don't want y'all to see my big belly. I had to get up. So here's my Wakizashi. It's basically
And heck,
Yeah, let me bring that up so we can take a look at that.
jeez.
I can't figure out which way I want to go. But all that is like hand carved, and these are brass sheaths, so they're really heavy. I guess they were more ceremonial
Uh-huh.
than a daily carry sword.
Yeah, I think that was to show off what your rank was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Probably.
And if like I was saying, so here's the buoy, and it's basically just a little bit shorter, about 4 or 5 inches, I guess.
But
let
that
me,
katana is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
What's their steel? Do they use the blue steel, the paper steel? Or are they stainless?
No, these are folded carbon
Paper?
steel.
Yeah. They look
I don't
really
know
shiny.
what they would have used. I don't know what they would have used then, but like it would take a month to make a sword. Like,
CB,
they would go out there every day and pound on it and fold it and pound on it and fold it.
CB.
Yeah.
When I was stationed in Japan, they had a program on AFRTS, and they had shown this Japanese sword maker. He was 14th generation, and his generations before had made them for the emperors and stuff. He said he had a good year if he could get 2 swords completed in a year. He would get he would get 2 months into a sword and say this isn't working out and just scrap it and start completely from scratch.
Yeah.
That is the detail they put into those things. And these swords, at that time were probably $70,000-$80,000 a piece, But I mean,
Yeah.
it was passed down from generation to generation to generation. And you're right. He would sit there and just tap, tap, tap all day long. Heat and tap, heat and tap.
So
I don't know whether any of you do. Go ahead, CB.
if you had an apprentice, it would work a little faster because your apprentice would keep your fire stoked and
Mm-hmm.
keep you going, to where it a lone sword maker would probably take longer because you got to do everything yourself. But yeah, it was an extensive like thing to make the knife or the sword. And these after World War II, they confiscated all swords in Japan, and a lot of them just got stuffed in warehouses. That's why these sheaths are kind of dull looking, because they've just been stuffed in a warehouse. I could polish these back out to the brass, but I don't want to. But yeah, they during when I was in Iraq in 2009, I was just ordering them left and right. I even got a Japanese NCO sword for 98 cents, but it cost
Good.
me $125 to have it sent to the United States. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the auction houses, I was really playing them hard. My mom, I called home. She's like, "What are all these long boxes I'm getting at the house?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Just put them in the closet. I'll get them when I come home." Finally, I told her about what they were, and she had ordered me one. It's a modern version, but I like it. I keep it with these antique ones I've got here. 'Cause
My
she got
son was an officer in the Royal Navy, and he has his sword. If anybody'd be interested, I'd get it off him and bring it on the channel one week if you'd want to see the.
That'd be
like,
great.
I
Absolutely.
love military sabers and
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
see him this week and see if he'll drop it round to us.
Yeah. That would be very nice.
I've never seen it yet because he was over in England, obviously, and he's had it since he's been home, but I've never got around to asking him because I think he'd be frightened I'll not give it back to him.
That'd be nice to see.
Yes, it would.
Well, I'll do that now. I'll get that sorted out.
Yep, that sounds
I
good.
had a chance. This was years ago when I was still in the Navy. Had a chance to buy a cutlass, and I didn't do it. And now
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was a official Navy issued cutlass that they used to issue to enlisted men, but
Uh,
the things that get away
Well,
sometimes.
yeah. And something like that too, it's really impractical for modern life. It's just for
It is.
collectability,
Yeah.
and because how many more people's been killed by machetes than there ever was by swords, really,
Yeah.
in the past 200 years.
Yeah.
or
But,
knives.
Yeah.
or knives, yeah. But I just like the history that's attached to them, and
Absolutely.
when you think premium steel, I always think about Japanese steel for the past
Uh,
300-400 years, which that really revolutionized knives all over the world. That's type of steel making.
Yeah.
So
do you
it's
ever
just
go on YouTube and type in Japanese traditional knife makers or sword makers? You should do that because there's some amazing videos. And you've got this wee man, he'll be 80-year-old, and he has a little furnace in front of him. He has a big stamping machine at the side of him. And he's sitting on it. There's a wee brick wall built with a just a little plank that's set into the wall. And he sits there all day long into the furnace, out stamping, hitting with a hammer. And he doesn't move. He doesn't get off the stool. He just moves in that wee triangle. And it's amazing what he knocks out. Absolutely amazing. But there's plenty of really interesting videos if you ever get a chance.
Oh yeah. The Japanese, they're really dedicated in every aspect of their life. I mean,
Can you
even
imagine?
drinking tea is a ceremony.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we sit down, we drink tea and hot tea, cold tea, whatever, and we don't think nothing about it. For them, it's a total ceremony. Like, so I respect it.
The
Yeah.
green tea ceremony.
Yeah.
Japan was the one place I wanted to go to in the world when I joined the Navy, and I never got a ship going out there. Both my sons did. I never got. But it's the thought of somebody that they must have started work maybe 12 or 13 as an apprentice. And, sort of 60, 70 years later, they've sat in that wee triangle every day, probably for 12, 14 hours, maybe more a day, and not done anything else. And you just think, could I do that even,
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah. The Japanese, they really had I guess a handle on the way they made their steel. It wasn't the greatest steel in the world, but at the time it was unmatched. It was like titanium, it's unobtainable type of steel, it's just crazy. And when like the English were using long swords and stuff. They were just pounding it out as fast
Yeah.
as they could make a sword in a week or so, but these were like a work of art, is a way of life.
Well, I mean, the old English swords were Rough Riders.
Yeah.
You broke one, you bought another one, and that was it. You know what I mean? The blacksmith had it done in a day or two, and out you go. You
Well-
just swung them harder to cut.
Well, that just goes to show you don't have to have superior weaponry all the time to be a dominant force. You just have to have more weaponry.
Yeah. And with those Japanese sword makers, you got to remember it's just like today, and I tease the guys I work with and tell them that, our job is not a job, it's a lifestyle. So, so it's kind of the same way with them. It was a lifestyle to
Yeah, absolutely.
Wake up every morning and go sit in that triangle and learn how to make a knife or a sword.
Do you know the swords they used to commit harikari with, or was it a knife, a small katana or whatever?
Yeah.
No, it was usually the tanto knife. They would just, boy.
Yeah. I would love to get something like that for my collection, just to have in my collection.
Well, the cold steel tanto is pretty close to it.
Is it? Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's as close to traditional as you can get without spending the big money for it.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm saying them swords you've got are, if you go buy one now, you're talking a lot of money to buy something like that.
So I've done martial arts and stuff my whole life, and that's why like the tanto is really a traditional.
You're acting like me,
style that's been modernized.
Flag on the play.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't cut yourself, did you?
What make is that?
Has a divot.
This is a CRKT Obaki.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
See, I love that handle.
Yeah,
that would have been like more like a female's knife.
Yep.
Or a I hate to say it, but an assassin.
I was going to say, this would be a
sleeve or
a concealed knife. Your third blade. Yeah, but pretty nice little knife.
There's another 2 knives I have to get.
Yep. Should we make a list?
Well, mine's pretty long. I don't know about y'all, and it's getting longer.
Yeah,
it's growing faster than my wallet does.
If you hang out with us, you'll find that you have more lists than money. That's for sure.
I don't think I've ever gone to my list and not added one at least to it.
Absolutely, that's the rule. You get one checked off, and you add 2 more.
Well, I can't never make it to the list because I'm always finding something I want right then,
Yeah.
And so my list I've been trying to get another 119 and forever, and I can't get it.
I hear you.
Plenty of them.
I have yet to get a 119, and I keep saying I got to get a 119 one of these days.
Well, I'll have to say this is really going to be really strange. On here on eBay, 119s, I see at least one a week going through. On eBay, it's a website for selling knives, and I see the buck 19 go through at least one a week.
Oh yeah.
But I haven't seen the 102, which is the one I want. I haven't seen it come through at all.
Yeah, you can do a search form. You can actually get an alert, set up an alert, and then they'll send you an email when one comes up.
Yeah, but the alerts would end up making me angry because I don't have the money to buy it. Why are you telling me this? I don't have the money.
I know. I have that same issue with my eBay alerts too. But I got to tell you though, Stephen, the 102 was one that had been on my list for quite a long time. I would have to go get it, but it's probably exceeded my expectations in every way. It really
There's yours
did.
I've seen and Tom's that just.
Yeah.
I remember you done a video on a bridge, Tom, and you had all your knives set along the wee bridge, and that video really hooked me into the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
they still make the 119. It's not even a problem to get. You can get them new, you can get them used. I don't think Buck's ever going to stop making those. That's like the 110. Those are always going to be being produced, so you don't have to worry about that. They're not hard to find.
No.
You can find them in all different price ranges and all different conditions.
And now with different handles and different blade steel even. So
yes, yeah, that custom one that they just showed last month. Whoa, boy, that looked beautiful. I liked that one.
That knife with that steel on it is an absolute beast. Absolute beast.
So let me ask you, how bad do you have it? Do you guys watch Metal Complex?
Yeah.
So
I
he
do
just
not.
come out with a video of a Hinder XM18 that was done in Raindrop, Damascus, and had titanium scales with a Hinder horse on the side of the scales. It was like real huge. So Sierra Bound sent that knife into him for him to review, and Sierra Bound posted it on his Instagram, and I told him, I said, "Hey man," I said, "that's like a work of art to me. I think that's the most beautiful knife I've ever seen, really." And I said, "I'll trade you my wife for her. She don't talk much. She cleans, she cooks, and she's not bad to look at." And he come back, he was like, "Deal." And I was like, "Do I really want this knife?" My wife was like, "You didn't." I was like, "I did." So that's a knife guy for you. You got it bad if you do it. You try and trade your wife for him.
Yeah, that's something you gotta check with the wife first, though. Before you do deals like that.
Yeah, no.
My wife only guessed when the wrapping paper started to go up to her head level.
That's when you do the deal in secret, and he hands you the knife, and you just run. Just leave her standing there
with a little bit of rope.
Bye, I love you. I just thought that was cool that he's doing a review on it. It's a beautiful knife. Beautiful.
Yeah. He's had some lovely Hinders, and that's what I would go, because Hinder is the knife I love the most. I've got the Hinder Slippy, but there's no point me spending the money on the other one because I'm never going to use it. And Hinders are meant to be used. But I've got the Hinder Slippy.
Slip joint. I've never seen the slip joint until you had it.
The Hinder Slippy is one of the nicest knives I have.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Beautiful little knife.
And see,
3-inch blade.
That is actually the Eclipse. That's just a slip joint.
It's the 18, just a slip joint. This is called the XM18 Slippy.
Okay.
But look at that lovely edge I put on it too. It's very nice now. Yes, I do like that knife.
I like that design. It's just comfortable.
It is so comfortable. And you see, if you're scared of slippies, the forward choil just takes any fear away. You could work this as hard as you like. That's beautiful too.
Blue's awesome, ain't it?
Yeah, I love the blue. But that's a beautiful knife. I love that top of that blade is just beautiful.
Yeah, I like the blue anodized titanium scale. That's neat.
But yeah, I think if I wasn't into slip joints so much, I would be a Hinder collector. I would just save and see it.
They just break you.
Yeah.
The problem with those are, and that's a good example of a modern knife that's going to hold its value.
Right.
Because for the simple fact, when they hit the market, Hinders are $425. But everybody buys them up and sells them on the secondhand market. You will not find one less than $500. It's crazy.
Here's the crazy thing: when I bought this, It was just not long after my father passed away, and I had a wee bit of money left, and I wanted something for him. This cost me 300. They're now going in the second-hand market on the UK for £225, and that's an absolute steal.
Yeah.
Just an absolute steal. Because the 20 CV has been heat treated so well, it is just stunning to use.
That's his standard steel too. 20 CV. ZT, they did the XM18 and it's in 20 CV. So some say that this was made better than Hinder's were, but at the time they kind of put the quality into it, you know, where Hinder just didn't have the capabilities, but now, you know, they're better than this. But these are 300, where the others are 425, and you can actually find these. I just love the shape of the scales. It's very ergonomic. Fits my hand perfectly.
ZT used to make beautiful knives. They really did.
Well, you know, if ZT offers it, more than likely you can find the Kershaw version that's just a little cheaper. But it's basically the same knife, you know. They still got the Kershaw speed assist in them. Whatever, you know, like I don't have it out, but
there's a wee one. That's the ZT 450, 0450, but the anodized scales. One of my subs bought this knife and then got it anodized for me. What a gift.
Oh, it's awesome. Beautiful.
It's just a stunning little knife. And it must be nearly 20-year-old now, but the action on it is amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful little knife.
That might be a downfall for modern knives later. A lot of them are on bearings instead of like a copper or whatever,
washers,
you know, bronze washers. But that might be a downfall to modern knives in the future, is because that just can't take the pounding a normal like bronze washer could, brass washer. But
well, of course, the thing is that you know, most of those knives you can disassemble, so you could change it out. You know, if it wears. You know,
so I always have the fear that you can't get replacements. You know, so what if I have this knife for 25 years and you can't get a replacement for it, but it's your favorite knife? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things is that, you know, I've actually seen those little ball bearing, sets, or I don't know how you want to call them, but in some of the machines that I work on, I've taken stuff apart and found those in there. So they're being used in other facets and in other things, other applications. So, you know, definitely those are going to, they're not going away anytime if they use them in modern manufacturing. It just depends. Because I was taking this thing apart and I was like, oh, I know what that is. You know, I'm a knife guy. I know exactly how this works.
Yeah, but I mean, China makes all the ball bearings in the world now, I think. I don't think there's anybody even in the States that has the capability to make the ball bearings to put in the little tracks. I think they source all theirs from, am I right? I think so. Because I know the fellow makes the big overbuilt knives. Very, very outspoken politically. Oh, I can't think of his blooming name. He started off as a one-man show. He makes them big, heavy knives.
Medford.
Medford, yeah. I mean, that was knives. He couldn't say he was totally American made because he had to get his ball bearings from China.
Yeah.
It was the only place he could get them done. And he was going to actually start making them here until he found out just how much it would cost to make simple ball bearings. It's just never going to be worth it.
I think there is a company that was, I don't know if they're still in business, but it was called King Bearing that was here in America, that they made, ball bearings of every size
Right.
and stuff. So I don't know if they're still in business or not, but I always thought that was something that, if you're in that kind of a business, other than, factories overseas competing for you, I don't know how many people are in the ball bearing business that, I thought by now it had kind of shaken out to whoever the big players were, so because it seems like there's always three, right? Three big companies that are, corner a market, it seems, but I don't know.
But I'm surprised American companies, the bigger American companies like Benchmade and ZT, and maybe even the other fellow there, if three of them would get together and actually build somewhere and make them, they would be worth a fortune, because people are just not going to be buying for China when they can get them at home.
Yeah,
Because you went to lockdown there, they just stopped. People couldn't make their knives with ball bearings in them because they couldn't get them from China.
Right.
Yeah, unless it's like a fixed blade, there's always going to be something from China in it. Your car, your knives, your guns, it doesn't matter anymore. That's why I've kind of gotten to the fact, people used to be like, oh, if it ain't made in the United States, I don't want it. Well, just because it was made in China doesn't mean it's not United States steel. It's still the same steel, is just manufactured there. And we, Civivi, Kaiser, they've all proven that they can be high quality knives.
Yeah, that was one of the things about the Kaiser knives, is that almost all the materials that they use are actually sourced in America, but then they're assembled over in China and then sent back. So it's kind of a different way of doing it. It's kind of backwards from the way we think about it, of importing parts and then putting them together in a factory here. They're doing the same thing, but over there. So they're getting the raw components from us, but then they're assembling it over there.
Yeah,
actually, that was quite a good video on the show. The boy that used to work for Kaiser and then started up his own firm, Beyond EDC, I think it's called.
Yes.
He has got some beautiful looking knives coming out this year, and he's got them at all price sizes. Just some of his are beautiful coming out this year.
Yeah, I reviewed a couple of Beyond EDC knives through the Apex group last year, and I got to tell you, I enjoyed all of those knives. They were really good, well-made knives, really good designs. I hope they're going to send some more for us to look at this year. But that was definitely a good bunch of knives. I really liked those.
He had about 6 or 7 there that he's bringing out this year. And there's a lovely little small fixed blade I think he had, was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's getting really popular, is the small fixed blade.
They are.
The 3-inch fixed blades.
Yeah.
I just can't do a neck knife. I don't like a neck knife.
That's why I put this in the wee sheath and put it in my pocket. This is a wee LT Wright. And it's just a beautiful little knife. And it does everything I need to do. I don't need anything bigger. I could carry that all day and I'd never be underwhelmed or overwhelmed.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, I like my fixed blades.
Yep. That's good.
Quite a few.
Well, guys, I'm at the point where I have to wrap it up now.
Hey, RJ. I had fun.
We did it hard.
Yep. So I appreciate all you guys coming in. I appreciate you guys in the chat. That's for sure. We'll do this next week because I love doing this every week. This is one of the most fun things I get to do with my channel every week. I love sitting down to talk with all of you and getting a good feeling for the next week, for what videos I'm going to make and what knives to look at next. And I love it that we all are diverse enough in our hobby that we all learn stuff from each other too. So thank you, JW. Zen was thinking it would never end. The show's not going to end. This episode's going to end, but I've been renewed for another season.
Heck yeah.
Sadly, we could probably do this 7 days a week and we'll still talk for 3 hours.
Exactly. I mean, people would say, "How in the world can you talk about knives for 3 hours?" And we proved it's pretty darn easy.
Well, how many styles of knives are there? You got to take at least 5 minutes for each style.
That's right. That's right.
The whole thing is that it doesn't even seem like it's been 3 hours. It seems
No.
like we just got started.
No, exactly.
Oh,
It was
heck,
just just starting to get good, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I got to go.
Yeah. And Tom, you don't take care of yourself. Get the wife to give you a massage.
Okay, I will do so. Yeah. Yeah.
And look, thanks very much. It's a ball every week. Thank you.
Yeah,
It sure is.
You're welcome.
I
It sure
appreciate
is.
it so much.
We will see you next week.
Okay.
Thank you to everybody in the comments. You're amazing.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Yep, and hit the
Thank
like
you.
button on the way out. Yep, you stay dangerous.
Like and subscribe.
Have a nice day.